And we are live. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over these internets, social media, mainstream media, everywhere. And I don't know where to start. First of all, the Tennessee scandals going on. Lavergne, Tennessee, you have the police officer involved in the scandal. She's married, but had an affair, I guess you would say, with multiple officers on the force. They all get fired. And then what did she say? Hey, you know what? I didn't know any better. I'm a fully grown adult. I had a gun and a badge. I'm married to a man. But hey, they just convinced me to do something I didn't want to do. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Zelensky wants Crimea back. Now, Crimea's been gone since 2014 under the Obama administration, before Biden, before Trump, and now he wants that back. Why? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Women's History Month didn't really go too well out there in Toronto, Canada. Speaking about the Tornoto Raptors, we'll talk about that in a minute. Also, all these Portland Walmarts are closing to the point where there's no more inside the city. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoyed what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Thank y'all again for being here. We got quite a few things to talk about tonight. You know, I saw some of Trump's speech a little earlier. You know, I'm kind of out of the loop a little bit. I watch CPAC sometimes, but I've not been to a CPAC before, you know. I've not been to a CPAC, so it's like, I see it when I see it, but I'm not really in the loop. But I did see that Trump gave a speech. I could get some clips from that and cover that right here on the show. We'll get to that a little bit later. But first, you guys know how I do. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us. They are your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. That's patriotpost.us. Link for them will be in the description box. You can also check my weekly column on Patriot Post. Every single Wednesday, it'll be a new column from me. Yes, I do know how to write a little bit. I'm an okay writer, and I write a column every week. Like on my website, AnthonyBLogan.com, by the way. If you go to the front page, you'll see articles that I write, and I'll link to my videos. So basically, it's like a resource. You know, if you want to know more about a particular story, if you want to get some information that's not going to be able to be on YouTube, go to my website. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Very simple. Now, you could go there for those context articles, but also patriotpost.us for a more in-depth column about whatever's going on. If you guys have any tips for columns, tips for news stories, feel free to email me through the email on my website. That's contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you spam me, meaning you sending me 5-6 emails every single day, I'm gonna go ahead and block you because I get too many emails to be dealing with spam to where I can't see anything else. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, but you can email me. Just don't abuse the feature. And that's my next point. When you go to my website, you can go to the front page, find everything there. You can also go to the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. You can find my email address, my snail mail UPS box address. You can also find my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All those good things are right there on the website. And a PSA, if anybody ever comments on your comment on one of my videos and says, hey, text me at this number, let's get into some Bitcoin, let's do Forex. I don't know about Bitcoin. I don't know about Forex. I'm not going to ever tell you to text me to make some money or give me some money. So don't do it. If you want to support the channel, there is avenues to do so right here on the actual YouTube page. You could donate through Super Chat right here in the actual YouTube live stream. I have a Cash App account. All that will be in the actual description box of the video, also on the website. if there's ever anything else that you can't see right here on my actual video or on the actual website, it's not me. And like I said before many times, I will never ask you to call me or text me. Definitely not text me. You could call me later on in this show, and you can only ever call me during the show unless like I know you or something like that. And then at that point, you would know what my number is. You would hear my voice, you know. And then here's the last thing I'll say, just in general about a lot of these scams, because my channel is not the only channel that has these scams going on. If somebody asks you to contact them and they give you a number, get them on the phone. My voice is pretty unique. You're not really going to be able to have somebody come in and just replicate my voice. You know, like sometimes I go into some of these clubhouse rooms, chat rooms, whatever, where you can hear voice. And I go with my name, ABL. I'll say ABL or I'll say Anthony Brian Logan, whatever it is. And then I always get the same question. Hey, is that the real ABL? And then I'll speak. They're like, okay, yeah, it's you, because nobody else has your voice. So yeah, if you ever get somebody that is claiming to be me, talk to them on the phone and see what they say. And they sound like Peter Griffin, or they sound like they belong in the Bollywood movie, I promise you it's not me. But I digress. Thank you guys for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. Also go to ablmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website. Luchavelli says, what if they AI your voice? They can never AI my voice. They can never. They can AI, they can AI Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, but they can never AI this voice. It's too different, too unique, too just rambunctious all over the place. You know, so no, they're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, get them on the phone. They're going to sound straight like Quickie Mart, Apu from The Simpsons. They're going to sound like, you know, the mayor of Quahog and Family Guy. Okie dokie. They're not going to sound like me at all. All right. Hello, this is Anthony Brian Logan. That's not me. I promise. It's not. But anyway, thank y'all again for being here. We got quite a few topics on deck for today. I got some videos to show you guys, of course. It's been a whole lot going on all over these internet streets. Let me just see kind of what's happening here. Yeah, but before I get into the major topics, I just want to get into what's going on. Matter of fact, okay, I got the one video here queued up that I want to show you guys. And then, of course, there are more, and we will get into them. We most certainly shall. Absolutely. There was one video I saw that kind of disappointed me because, you know, Jon Stewart, he does okay sometimes, but the video I saw from him recently was not very good. I think I'm going to play that. I'm going to play a couple videos here, actually, that I don't have necessarily on the roster, but you're going to be able to see why I played them in just a moment. So here's one. Here's one of them. Here's Jon Stewart trying to have an argument with somebody about why it's not okay to have like drag queen story time. And if you guys don't know what drag queen story time is, what's happening with that is that parents will take their children, little kids. I mean, when I say little, I mean Goo Goo Gaga, infant, baby. Can't even walk, talk, nothing. Still on the bottle, whatever. Babies, infants, newborns. Like yesterday, they were just in the womb, and today they out at a drag queen show. Yesterday, they were in the womb listening to Bananas in Pajamas, Coco Melon, all that good stuff, right? Listening to that in the womb, and then the next day, here comes some big 6'2" dude with chest hair popping out, wearing a string bikini, dancing in front of them. They're like, what's going on here? Put me back in the womb. I don't want to be out here engaging in this nonsense. Now, there won't be any of that in this video. It's just Jon Stewart having a discussion, but not letting the guy talk. Let's go ahead and play that for you right quick.
You want to ban drag show readings to children?
To minors, yes.
Why?
Why?
What are you protecting?
Why can we prohibit children from voting, those under 18 from voting?
Why are you banning?
Also that?
Is that free speech? Are you infringing on that performer's free speech?
First of all, this guy's not doing a very good job in defending himself. I'm not sure who that is, but let's go back, because if it's me, I like these kind of debates. Jon Stewart trying to, hold masculine frame. Shout out to AMS, Coach Greg Adams for that one. He's trying to hold himself and be all serious and look him in the eye and be straightforward, all this and that and the third, but I wouldn't be going for that. You asking me the question, why would you ban drag shows? I'll be like, well, I don't think it's appropriate to have some 6'5" former overseas basketball player dancing around in a provocative way in front of children. This is adult entertainment, not for kids. If you want to do that in front of other consenting adults, then have at it. But children, I think that's too adult for children. So that would have been my answer right away. It's adult entertainment. Let's go back to see what the question.
You want to ban drag show readings to children?
To minors, yes.
Why?
Why?
What are you protecting?
Why can
The question, he says, why? And then he responds talking about, well, why can't kids do X, Y, and Z? No, it's because it's adult entertainment and children are not adults.
we prohibit children from voting, those under 18 from voting?
Why are you
but
banning?
Also that.
Is that free speech? Are you infringing on that performer's free speech?
Now, free speech don't even mean that. People just making up stuff. Free speech, all that means is you can't get locked up for your unpopular opinion, but you can't do whatever you want. You can't yell fire in the crowded movie theater. You can't call somebody and issue a threat. You can get locked up for certain things you say, but I don't think a drag show in front of children is under the same territory as free speech. Are you speaking or are you performing? Now, what if you take all your clothes off in front of kids? That's called indecent exposure. You're gonna be charged as a sex offender, and all you're gonna go to jail for that. It's not speech. You're doing a thing that's violating someone's rights. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you can't do whatever you want in society, Jon Stewart.
They can continue to exercise their free speech, just not in front of a child.
Why?
Because the government does have a responsibility to protect.
I'm sorry?
The government does have a responsibility in certain instances to
What's
protect
the
children.
leading cause of death amongst children in this country? And
How did we go from not allowing these grown adult former NFL football players looking like they towel roofs for a living, dancing in front of children? How did we go from that into leading cause of death for kids? I don't know. Is it fentanyl? Is it obesity? Is it accidents, like abuse? What is it? It doesn't matter what it is. Let's focus on the issue at hand here, Jon Stewart.
I'm going to give you a hint. It's not drag show readings to children.
Correct, yes.
So what is it?
I'm presuming you're going to say it's firearms.
No, I'm not going to say it like it's an opinion. That's what it is. It's firearms. More than cancer, more than car accidents. And what you're telling me is you don't mind
So when you say children, see, this is so disingenuous, because when you say children, we're talking about infants, or we talking about, does children mean anyone under the age of 18? Is that what that means? Because you could be including the 15 to 18-year-old gangbangers that shoot and kill each other with guns, criminals that don't follow laws. So if the objective is to push some kind of gun control rhetoric, that's not a very good job. You're just being disingenuous at this point. You mean, because when a normie hears that, they're going to think that babies are just getting gunned down every day. That's not happening. Or they're going to think babies are just getting the guns accidentally and shooting themselves, or the parents are killing the kids. That's not happening. We're talking about 14 to 18-year-old gangbangers in the low-income areas or wherever they are, shooting and killing each other. That's what that is.
infringing free speech to protect children from this amorphous thing that you think of. But when it comes to children that have died, you don't give a flying.
Okay, we're not going to use the F word here.
To stop that, because that shall not be infringed. That is hypocrisy at its highest order.
That was so cringeworthy. Oh my goodness. Jon Stewart, really? Is that what we're going to do? Yikes. Big yikes. I was just giving him his credit the other day. He said something that I liked, but that right there was cringy. Oh my goodness. Jon Stewart, man, take that off the air. But that was so much. We weren't talking about not allowing adults to engage in adult activity in front of kids. And it's not even about them being LGBTQ LMNOP. It's about, check it out, this is adult stuff. You shouldn't have children at a strip club. I've never seen an infant in a strip club. Okay. Now, I've been to I've been to strip clubs before just because I had to be working there. I'm not in there entertaining the debauchery, but I've never seen a child in a strip club. And if I did, I'm calling the police. Like, hey man, come on. Hey, that's not what we're gonna do. We're not going to have this whole thing happen. No. It needs to be adults here. All right. We need to have adults in the building. I'll be like my man right here. I'll be like, yo, police, yeah, can you please come down here and figure out is the mom on stage, or like what's going on? Is bring a child to work day? Whatever's happening here should not be happening. It should only be adults in this place. So Jon Stewart just wanted to turn that moment into something about gun control, which is disingenuous because you're not really telling the full story. Children, when we're talking about drag shows, we're talking about little babies. When we're talking about quote unquote children and firearms, you mean people between the ages of 14 and 18, 15 to 18, high school kids, not little babies. But anyway, I digress. I was never in there. Hey, I was in the club just doing my graphic design business. You know what I mean? I got a box of flyers. Okay. It's Taco Tuesday, whatever they got going on. Hey man, I'm just delivering the box of flyers. I'm not in here for nothing else. Okay. I'm delivering the flyers, give me my money, and I'll go about my business. I'm not even really trying to be in here. That the scent is not really up my alley. I don't know how I eat food in there, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty. And do I have another one for you guys? Oh yeah, let's go talk about the Raptors. The Toronto Raptors NBA basketball team. So they wanted to do a very nice thing and support Women's History Month. Now, I had no idea that was a real thing. Women's History Month, what does that mean? I had no idea that even existed, but apparently there is a thing called Women's History Month, and the Raptors, the Toronto Raptors NBA basketball team, wanted to, I guess, celebrate it in some kind of way, and this was unacceptable. I suppose it was unacceptable, and you're gonna see why it was unacceptable. All right, let's check it out right quick and roll it.
Girls run the world because they're the only one that can procreate. They birth everybody. All women are great because they're all queens.
So that was only about 10 seconds. It was only about a 10-second clip. That little 10-second clip was enough. So you see there's a prompt just in text format only. Quick 10-second clip because TikTok done fried our brains. We have very short attention span, so they got to put this in just like a little morsel so it gets some kind of attention. The prompt says, Beyonce said, "Girls run the world. Why do you think that's true?" This is the prompt, and then they're answering the prompt on the video.
Girls run.
So this guy says, "Girls run the world because," and then his teammate
In the world
says, they're the only ones who can procreate.
Only one that can procreate.
And then the other guy that was in the beginning says, they birth everybody.
They birth everybody. All.
And then this is Scotty Barnes, if I'm not mistaken. He says, all women are great because they're all queens. All right. So nice and heartwarming message, right? They're the only ones who can give birth. They're the only ones who can procreate. Those two answers right there are considered transphobic. What you were taught as a little kid in school about XX and XY, that's transphobic. Okay, that's not okay. Okay, so here's an article from TMZ. All right, and I'm gonna just read some of this to show you how ridiculous all this stuff is. So check it out. So the Raptors apologized for the video, made a mistake, blah 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 blah. Hold on. Let me see. I want to get to the specific part. Oh, here it is. Check it out. The clip featured 3 Raptors players answering why they believe the statement "girls run the world" is a fact. 2 of the players, Malachi Flynn and Precious Achua, gave cringe-worthy responses. How is it cringe-worthy to say a basic scientific fact, a biological fact? Whatever happened to believe the science and trust the science? Are we just not going to, are we not going down that road anymore? And again, they are the only ones who can procreate. They birth everybody. That's a fact. Oh, but you know what? Men can get pregnant too, right? That's what we're going to say now. So whatever you learned when you were a little boy or girl in school, in elementary school probably, second grade, about a woman being able to carry a baby, whatever you learned about that, forget about it, because men can also get pregnant. And if you say that that's not the case, then you're a bigot. But last I checked, if you're a man, you don't have the equipment to carry a baby. You just don't have it. Now, if you're a woman and you identify as, I don't know, you identify as Hollywood Hulk Hogan in the NWO era, the black and white, red and black, if you identify as that now, okay, great. But guess what? When you pass away and you get buried with your bones, no cremation, you're buried with your bones, and they're trying to put some kind of UFO port on that site 1,000 years later, and they dig up your bones, they're going to find a set of female bones is what they're going to find. They're not going to find Hollywood Hulk Hogan, leg drop, black and white. They're not going to find your hormone pills. They're not going to find a little beard you had. They're not going to find that. They're going to find a set of female XX bones. That's what they're going to find. So what are we talking about exactly? They could tell if you had a baby and all of that from your bones. So ultimately, whatever you identify as is irrelevant. What they said was correct. Since when was it wrong to be right? I guess now that's what we're going to go through, I suppose. That's what's happening. All right. So yeah, they had to apologize for that, but they didn't do anything wrong. It's not wrong to just state basic facts. But some people, you know, they think differently. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And I have one more from the LGBT land. Now, I saw this video a lot all over social media. It's weird how we're in Women's History Month, but I'm seeing a bunch of males. Are we trying to erase women? I love and respect women. Why are we trying to erase them? Why can't they have their own thing? Why can't they exist? What are we really doing? I feel like people who were not able to get recognition in their field or in their town, wherever they're from, maybe they're a bunch of failed Hollywood actors, and rather than just going back home to Kansas, going back home to East Podunkville, Kentucky, say, you know what, I'm going to stick it out in Hollywood. I'll make it in Hollywood. And you know what? Rather than my name being Steve Rogers, Captain America, rather than doing that, I'm going to call myself, I don't know, I'm going to call myself Faye Johnstone. That's what I'm going to call myself. All right. I look like I could be kin to James O'Keefe. If James O'Keefe and Conor McGregor had a baby, it'd be Faye Johnstone. All right. This big red wig with the crazy sharp nose, that is a combination of Conor McGregor and James O'Keefe. If you see James O'Keefe and Faye Johnstone in the same place at the same time, it's probably CGI. It's probably him just trying to be sneaky and being a troll. Shout out to my main man, James O'Keefe, though. Shout out to him. Hold on.
My name is Faye Johnstone. I'm the executive director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves.
This is a Hershey commercial, I suppose. The chocolate bar, the candy bar. We come a long way, huh?
See the woman changing how we see the future at Hershey's Canada.
My man, Jason Whitlock, his face, it tells, that's my face. His face is my face. That's how I feel about that. Shout out to Jason Whitlock over on The Blaze with fearless Jason Whitlock. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'm gonna just read what he said right here. What really baffles me about all of this is I just can't imagine the transgender community being more than 1% of the overall population, but they feel like 75% of the conversation. Hashtag Hershey's. Agreed. And you know what? I try to enjoy Netflix occasionally, and it's LGBT flicks. Everything got to have the sprinkle of the LGBT on it. And it's like, why? Is that always required? Is it always required? I think not. Like, even if you enjoy that kind of stuff, does it always need to be there? It's like when I'm eating food, right? Let's just talk about something a little bit different. All right, I'm eating food, okay? Now, I enjoy lemon pepper, but must everything have that same spice on it? Can I get a little bit of variation? Why must that one spice be forced on me? Why can't I have anything else? Is there a reason? Are they trying to make me just become hooked on it? Are they trying to make me think differently about the spice? Like, what are they really trying to do? Are they trying to recruit because it can't reproduce? But I digress. I saw Jeremy from The Wire, Jeremy Boring from The Wire. He responded. I haven't seen this clip yet, but you guys are telling me to play it in the chat. I'll see you guys. So here it is. Jeremy Boring, one of the head honchos over on the Daily Wire. He says the video has a caption. The caption says, "Stop giving your money to woke chocolate companies that hate you. Give it to me instead. I hate Hershey's.com." Let's check it out.
International Women's Day is upon us again, and I love an international woman. But our friends over at Hershey's, they don't even know what a woman is. They've hired a biological male to be the spokesperson for their Women's Day campaign, and they're calling that campaign, and I swear I'm not making this up, Hershey. Hershey. It's humiliating, and it's the reason that I'm launching Jeremy's chocolate. We have two kinds, she, her, and he, him. One of them's got nuts. If you need me to tell you which one it is, keep giving your money to Hershey's. But if you're tired of giving your money to woke corporations that hate you, and you're looking for a delicious chocolate bar from a company that actually wants your business, head over to IHateHershey's.com and order Jeremy's chocolate today. International.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Now, who is that right there? The girl. What's her name? Brett? Yeah, whoever that is, hey, shout out to her. Good grief. Hey, let's stay focused though. Let's stay focused. That was a funny commercial. Shout out to Jeremy from The Wire. That was good. I hadn't seen that before. I had seen it on my timeline, but I hadn't watched it yet. So that was good. I appreciated that. Brett Cooper, yeah. Shout out to Brett Cooper. But let's stay focused. All right. Yeah, that was a good response. And they did that quick. It's like, did they already see the whole situation? I don't know what they did. Maybe they went in the back and just printed something on it. They might have got like a printer in the back. They could just print stuff quickly. Created the packaging. Put some, just put it together real quick. That was really good. Very witty. I felt like it was something that they kind of ad-libbed. Yeah. Yeah, they feel like they kind of ad-libbed that. Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm echoing what the chat is saying about Miss Cooper. That's all I'm saying. I'm just reading the chat. That's all. Yeah. But yeah, that whole thing with the Hershey's, Hershey. I thought if you're gonna bring somebody out there that's not really Hershey, it's so confusing. Okay, so Hershey, you're gonna play on a name by saying Hershey as the pronouns, but you're gonna bring out a he, him. What are the person's pronouns? I don't know. It looked like NFL. The pronouns are NFL football player, pocket passer. How about those pronouns for that big 6'4" rock jaw looking person? But I'll move on. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Hold on. Warhill Ride says she's gorgeous, but listen, people say she looks like female Ben Shapiro. Try to unthink that. I can't. Now all I see is her playing the violin. So that's going to just be an L for me on that one. But we'll move right along. We shall move it right on along. So I think we covered the Ford patent last time, but we didn't cover it all the way. So the Ford patent, well, they've filed for a patent, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's a utility patent or the patent's pending, meaning it's not been totally just granted. But if it's pending, you can't actually apply for the same thing because it's already in the works. It's like having the patent, but not having it completely. If it removes from pending and it doesn't get approved or whatever it is, then it's up for grabs. But anyway, Ford filed a patent that will allow them to repo your car remotely. So let's say you miss a few payments. They can just push a button and have your car drive back to the dealership or back to the actual the financial institution, back to the lender. Maybe even to a bank. Now this is crazy. Now people were saying, well, that's not really a bad thing, ABO, because hey man, if you didn't want to, if you couldn't pay the money, well, so what? Have it go back. But there's a lot of reasons why it's not really a good thing. First of all, that can be used for other purposes. And then my thing is, how late must you be? And also, they said that in the patent. Now I'll put an article up here to have an aid for myself. But in the patent, there's more they can do. They can contact the police, and they already do some of these things right now. They can contact the police, hospital, whatever. So if you have a medical episode, they can detect that and take it to the hospital. If you want it for some kind of criminal offense, they can take it to the police station, perhaps, or they may come to you in an accident or something like that. There's a lot they can do that is beyond your control. So at a certain point, it's like you're driving this car, but how much of it is you driving the car? How much of it is the car driving you? And then at a certain point, it's like, do you even have control over the vehicle anymore? It can be hacked potentially. Now you got something dangerous going on. But you already have that kind of technology already. They know where your car is. When they want to come repo, all they got to do is push a button and see where it's at and come get it. It's no big deal. They have access to your garage sometimes. They can do a lot of different things. Hey, that's a good question. Duke Raul says, how is said car going to get out of their garage? Great question. You see, check it out. They got a trick for that. They have a trick for that, Duke Raul. Yes, they do. Now, let me get to the article so I can have everything right in front of me. All right, check it out. Watch this. So let's say they cannot get your car from where it is. It's in a garage. It's on some kind of remote island somewhere, and you need a ferry to get it off the island. Whatever it is, they can find your car, but they might not be able to get it. They might not be able to actually drive that back remotely. So they'll do other things. Check it out. Ford patent will remotely repossess cars and shut off AC if owner misses payments. So you could be driving the car, or they might not be able to repossess it. But let's say before they try to actually, take your car, turn the AC off. It's July in Phoenix. It's July in Phoenix, Arizona with no AC because you image your payment. You might have missed a payment and a half, 45 days late, something like that. Okay, no AC. How are you going to drive it? You can't. Either you just keep it in wherever it's at, keep it in the garage, try to get an Uber from point A to point B, or pay the payment. They can also cut off your key fob. They can cut off your ability to roll your windows down. They can turn off your heated seats. They can do all of that. But the main thing would be if they cut off your key fob. Now, cars nowadays, a lot of them, they're push button starts. And in order for the push button start to work, your key fob's got to work. If your key fob doesn't work, then how are you going to get the car started? Because if there's no key fob, you can have any old Joe just bust your window open, press the button, and they got a free car. So if they turn your key fob off, then what? Now what you gonna do? now what? So hold on. Your cruise control, automated windows, seat controls, air conditioning, key fobs, your door locking systems, all of that they could cut off remotely. So they may not be able to get your car out of the garage, but if you can't drive it because your key fob got turned off, then what? And then if they can't get your car, they could say it's stolen, or they could do all kind of stuff. And then now, well, not stolen, they might say you stole it, but not somebody else stole it. But if they can't get your car physically back, they could just, charge you some money. They could do all kind of things. All right. And then on top of that, if you try to get financed for another car, that's going to be on your record. That's going to be part of your people talking about the Chinese system, social credit score. But I have a question. Here's a question that somebody may know in the chat. Do they have credit scores in China? Does that exist? Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find that right quick. Do they have actual credit scores like we have, like FICO and stuff like that? Is that a thing in China? Does China have credit scores? Social credit system? Yeah, there's no actual credit score. It's a social score. Yeah, we have credit scores here. So that if you have now somebody says yes. Is it an actual like credit, like your financial credit score or your social credit score? I'm looking right here and I don't see. Hold on. Okay, yeah, they do have it. I'm proving wrong. The Xing, I know I butchered that. Xing system, essentially the Chinese equivalent of American credit bureau scoring, and is maintained by the current central bank. Okay, so they have it. They must have it. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they roll your actual credit score into the whole thing with social credit score. If you behave poorly or whatever out in public, if you do things out in public that are considered to be antisocial, whatever it is, that'd be a mark against you on your social score. But we already have that here in the United States. You get a credit score, number one. And then how about this? Let's say you are an Uber driver. Okay, after every trip, you're getting ranked. What else? Uber Eats, same thing. Any kind of service like that, anything, hotels, Airbnb, all of that, you can rank the person or rank the company. McDonald's, okay, my hamburger had all kind of just garbage in it. My hamburger had a fat, my hamburger came out wrong, right? You can go to Google and just mark that particular location with a 1-star rating. All of that matters. That matters. Like, try being in an Amazon store and you get flooded with 1-star ratings. You're pretty much done. So we have a version of what they have in China, although obviously it's not quite as bad. Here in the States, if you have a bad social score, you probably won't get kicked off a flight, but that has happened. You saw a sneak preview of that after January 6th, because what happened was people got blacklisted from airplanes after just being there on January 6th. They got blacklisted from an airplane. That is kind of how it would happen in China too. Okay, you do a thing that we don't like in the country. Well, shoot, I mean, China, it might be a little bit worse. If you try to do something like that in China, January 6th, although to me, it was a nothing burger, nothing much to do about nothing. If you were to even be there outside, not even going in, if you were to even be there outside, you might get thrown in the gulag. Big rocks, little rocks. And the same thing with BLM protests. If you want to burn neighborhoods down in China, oh, man, please, you would get vanished. They wouldn't find you no more. Here in the States, you could be a BLM protester, a left-wing protester, a rioter, a destruction artist, and tear everything down all you want. You might get a slap on the wrist at best. But do that in China, you will get vanished. Your family won't know where you're at. Where's Ingha? Where's he at? I don't know. I've not seen him in years. That's what happened to you in China. It's not a game over there. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. But yeah, they They have a much more strict thing over there than we do over here. But we have the precursors to what they have on that particular side of the world. We sure do have it. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Samantha says this tech already exists, though just in a different way. It was connected to the ignition. Oh, okay. Talking about the Ford patent. So yeah, the patent got filed, and I think that this is going to be the standard for the future. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, in the Ford patent, they said that what they're going to do with the Ford patent is if you miss your payment, they're going to send you an alert on your phone. Like, yo, where it's at. It's also going to be on your in-dash entertainment system. So, you know, if you got a newer car within the past 5 to 10 years, maybe, you have the little in-dash tablet type thing, and you got your maps on there, your music or your phone, whatever. They'll put it right there on that. So you push the button to start, or you crank the key, and then you start up, boom, 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 boom. Please pay your balance of $1,075.00, or this car will be automatically repossessed back to Ford Motor Company. That's what it's going to do. They said that in the patent. Imagine how that's going to be. That's very annoying. I don't want to have my bill reminders right there on my entertainment. Look, all I want right there is just my GPS, my map, so I know where I'm going, and my music. That's it. Radio, music, maps. I don't want any bills. Nah. But they said they're going to do that. If you're late, they'll just put it right there. It'll probably light up red. And then that's embarrassing, right? Imagine this. Imagine you're a young man, right? You're 25 years old, got you a little Ford Fusion. Okay. What if you got an F-150? That'd be hilarious. So you driving your F-150. Okay, you got a date with a young lady. You're taking her to Ruby Tuesdays, whatever you got going on. She hop in the car. You crank the key. Boom, 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 boom. Please pay your overdue balance of, oh man, embarrassing. It's like, look, I'm gonna pay it, but can you just not embarrass me in front of in front of the young lady, in front of the whole town? Okay, I got to go back out here to Youngstown and get joked on because they saw that my car lit up with the overdue sound. But that was in the patent, so that will happen. I'm not just making that up. I'm not just trying to be funny. I'm dead serious. They're going to do that because it's already right there. Let's see if I can find it in the the thing. Hold on. Oh, matter of fact, and the sound, I was right about that too. They're going to talk about, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, wow. So here we go. Let's go back to the article right quick, then I'll move on. According to the patent application, the technology would be used in the event that drivers ignore notices of delinquency of a vehicle-related payment that are sent to their phones and or their vehicle computer systems. So that's what they're saying right here in the article. They're going to send it to your phone and to your in-dash. Okay, and then here's the next thing. In one example given in the patent filing, vehicles would be remotely directed to emit an incessant and unpleasant sound every time the owner is present in the vehicle. The repossession system's computer may also ensure that the owner is unable to turn off the sound without first making contact with the lending institution to address payment delinquency. So that doo-doo is going to be something that you imagine the noise you hear when you have your seatbelt off, but probably times 10. That's crazy. But with technology, that's going to be the future. That's going to be how it goes. It's going to be kind of hard to avoid. Technology is a double-edged sword. You got lane assist and all kind of, driverless cars. You got all kind of good technology, but it's a double-edged sword. All right. Hey, They Live, Nickelback would be great. Hey, matter of fact, yeah, That'd be terrible. Nickelback. Oh man, don't play Nickelback. Meanwhile, I'll be in there having the whole concert in my car. That's fine. That is totally fine. I wouldn't trip about that. But anyway, I'll move on. And then my question would be, are they going to do anything like that if you own the car outright? If you have a payment, if you have a note on the car, it's one thing. But if you own it outright, then what? What if they think that you did something? You are a suspect in the criminal case. Are they going to play that noise? Are they going to drive you to the police station automatically without your consent? How's that going to work? Anyway, I'll move on. We got quite a few topics on deck for tonight. And what am I going to get to next? Can we talk about Kevin O'Leary? This was a very good show on a showing, not a good show, because it was on CNN. I don't want to give them credit, but it was a very good showing for Kevin O'Leary. Now, you guys may or may not know Kevin O'Leary, very famous finance guy. He is I guess you would say a judge, or not a judge, pardon me, an investor on Shark Tank. One of my favorite shows all time. Shout out to Shark Tank. So Kevin O'Leary was there and talking about a few things economically related, politically related too, but definitely on the economic side of the game. All right, let's check it out right quick. And let me just fast forward a little bit to where it gets good. Here we go.
People working for us in India, in Vietnam, in Cambodia, in France, Switzerland, everywhere that have different skill sets. And here's the one thing that nobody saw coming, and this is the competition of states. I don't put companies here in New York anymore, or in Massachusetts, or in New Jersey, or in California. Those states are uninvestable. The policy here is insane. The taxes are too high. We put them in Fargo, North Dakota, because 40% of the people work elsewhere, including Boston. So I was, a bit of a debate with Elizabeth Warren about this, but I say, look, Senator, we've got to move the companies out of your state because you're not investable anymore. You're punishing people if they're successful. You overtax them. You hit them with a super tax. New Jersey, what a mess. New York, uninvestable.
Wait,
California,
why is New York uninvestable?
Try and do a project in New York. Try and build a data.
I'm asking, Don's point, is it beyond the taxes?
Oh.
Now I'm gonna pause right here. I'm seeing the comments. People said that he was a paid spokesperson of FTX. I mean, FTX got real big. It was so big because it got a lot of people involved. They were all fooled. He got fooled, Tom Brady, everybody. But what he's saying right here is correct. I don't think that he did anything nefarious with FTX. I think he just got conned like everybody else did. But what he's saying right here about certain states being uninvestable is a fact. FTX, no FTX, what he's saying is correct. Like, who wants to go invest in New York or California, Illinois, Massachusetts? Who wants to go there to invest when you can go to Florida, North Dakota, someplace where you have a more favorable condition for business? You're going to have offshore competition, of course, obviously all the time. China, India, Southeast Asia, etc. It's always going to be there for competition. But we're also going to have state-to-state competition. Why would I build my Amazon plant right here, AOC, when I could build it in a different state? Because I'm trying to build it here, but I can't get the tax breaks. I can't get the benefits. Why build it here? I'll build it over there. It's simple.
Oh, the regulatory environment is punitive. I had a project in upstate New York behind the grid in Niagara Falls for electricity, a global data center we were building. Eventually, it got so bad with the politicians in the local region and the state policy, we moved it to Norway and all the jobs. Wow. Norway has it now. Thousands of jobs coming out of that. I mean, that's New York, uninvestable. Sorry, don't shoot the messenger, just telling you the way it is.
Yeah,
that's it, uninvestable.
Some pushback from our elected officials in New York on that.
I was just going to say Kathy Hochul.
Yeah, but
I'll debate them any time of the day you want.
We would love to set that up.
Particularly
I'd watch
AOC,
that.
she's great at killing jobs. She kills jobs by the thousands. You know, another New Jersey problem. Where did Amazon take their jobs? They took them away from her. She threatened to sue them if they created jobs. I mean, this is a reality.
Crazy.
It's a reality that the business...
There's a little more to it.
Yeah, AOC, the whole thing with AOC was crazy. Like, I don't understand the whole point behind what AOC did. Remember, this was a while ago. Amazon's going to come to New York City. And AOC led the charge against that happening. Now, I don't know why AOC would not want to have Amazon come to the city. I don't get it. I think maybe the whole thing was about they don't pay enough. Let me see if I can find that article right quick. I don't even remember what the whole beef was. I don't really get it. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Let's check it out. AOC calls Amazon jobs a scam because more than 4,000 of its employees are on food stamps. Okay, so this is on Business Insider. AOC on Friday called Amazon jobs a scam. In 9 states, more than 4,000 Amazon employees are on food stamps. A job that leaves you homeless and on food stamps isn't a job, it's a scam. Amazon said the reporting referenced by Ocasio-Cortez comment was false, adding that it violates over 50 years of economic thought and suspends the law of supply and demand. So the thing about it is, if you work at a place and you're getting, if you work at a place and they pay you, then that is a job you want. How she's making it seem like they make no money or they're like slaves. But the thing about America is that you have the ability to work wherever you want to work. And with staffing being an issue all over the country, I don't think you're going to work at a place you don't really want to be or it's not paying. I'm seeing jobs working at McDonald's making like 13, 14, 15 an hour at McDonald's out here in Tennessee. I'm not in the major metro area. I'm not in the city. It's like a small city. So to think that Amazon jobs in New York City would not pay is crazy. And furthermore, who is she to dictate what pay someone should take? If I want to get an Amazon job, I should be able to get it. I shouldn't have AOC saying, no, you shouldn't have that job because they don't pay what I want you to get paid. Well, check it out, though. How about I want that money? And if you say I shouldn't have the money because, in your words, it's not enough, well, are you going to pay me some money? Can I get you and your boyfriend to give me some money? How about that? Or get out the way and let me go get that money. Let me go work. Why are you trying to get in the way? Why are you trying to block the blessings? Grease Monkey says 18 an hour starting Amazon here. 18 an hour, North Carolina 007 girl. So JK says $13.75 an hour at Tampa McDonald's. At a McDonald's in Tampa. $17. So if you're getting paid $17, $18 an hour at a place like Amazon, I don't see what the problem is. Yeah, I don't really get it. Shoot, I was happy when I was a young man making what, $8? Shoot, I was a king of the hill at that point. This is back in like 2007, 2006. Now I know things have changed since then, obviously, but as a young man, I was happy to get $8 an hour. $18 an hour working at Amazon doing what? Putting pink handcuffs in boxes? Like, what are we talking about? What are you really doing at Amazon for real? I mean, are you going to be driving? That's a whole different category right there. You need to have a CDL and all kind of stuff. That's a whole different thing. To work at a warehouse, shoot, man, please. If I was 21 years old right now, if I was still in college, like exiting high school, in college, needed a job, I'd do that all day long. Warehouse, man, please. Man, 18 an hour, I'd be hood rich. I'd be a millionaire in my mind. I think maybe people like AOC think that these low-skilled jobs are or should support a family of 4 where the mom doesn't work. Newsflash, 3 out of every 4 mothers in America work. 3 out of every 4 moms in America work. Not just women, but women that have children. 3 out of every 4, 75%. Okay, so what are we talking about? Like the old days of Papa working at a factory for 30 years and getting to watch and the mom not working, that's kind of done. Now, can it happen? Yes. but it might not be able to happen on an unskilled labor job like Amazon. Does that mean that the job is worthless? No. Somebody needs that job. Somebody can benefit from that job. Somebody can take that money and do something with it. But it's not for everybody, nor should it be for everybody. So when I hear people talking about minimum wage, I cringe every time. They say, oh, it should be first. Remember back in the day, back a few years ago, it was 5 for 15. That's what they wanted the minimum wage to be, rather than $7.25, which it still is, by the way. Funny how that works. Funny how the minimum wage didn't increase, yet wages have increased. The minimum wage didn't increase. It's still $7.25 on the federal level, but guess what? You can go to McDonald's and get $15 an hour to flip burgers. You're literally flipping burgers, tossing fries in their old grease, and they pull up to the window. Go ahead. Go ahead with your order. Do whatever. The federal minimum wage didn't increase, but the actual wages did increase. Why? Because they're having a hard time finding people. It's supply and demand. And of course, they're going to raise prices on food. Oh, well. But you know what? It's called inflation, which we all saw coming. We all knew when they just kept printing and spending money, it's going to cause inflation for a variety of ways. First, there's too much money out there. It becomes too easy to buy things. That's going to put a strain on supply. So you got to raise the cost to have businesses not collapse under their own success. So you got to raise the price. And then, since you have so much fake money out there that was not created from production, people are less likely to want to work some of the lower paid jobs, especially, or at all. Hey man, I'm getting this stimulus money. I got money from over here, over there. I'm good. I don't even need no more. So I'm going to just stay at the crib. Now you got short staffing. So now to counteract the short staffing, you have to pay the employees more. And in order to afford that, you got to raise prices of food, raise the price of whatever you do, of your goods, services, etc. That causes inflation. It's basic stuff here, but basic economics 101, biology 101, these things are just not even. So it's like, what's the point of school then? If school can't teach you what I just told you right there, that shouldn't really be complicated. That shouldn't be a complicated thing to understand. You should be able to understand that when you are a child. If you print a bunch of fake money, because I was told this as a child. I was told that exact same thing I say all the time as a little boy. Because I'm a little boy, and I'm asking Mom, if people are poor around the world, because I went to school, right, one day, and then I realized there was a printing press. You could print money. I'm like, oh, bet, for real, you could just print the money? Why didn't anybody say anything sooner? So I go home. I'm a little boy full of questions. I'm a curious boy. Hey, Mom, you could print money. Did you know that? They could print money? So if people are poor, why can't they just print more money? That was my 8-year-old question to my mom. You know what my mom said? She said, well, if they keep printing the money, it'd be worthless because it'd be too much of it just floating around. You can't just print money like that. The more money there is, the less value it has. The value is in the scarcity. That's called inflation when you just keep printing and spending money. But here we are now. You got these 85-year-old people printing money, acting like it won't cause inflation. But I digress. I'm getting triggered. If you can't get taught that in K through 12, preferably right around the second grade mark, then what are we doing? We just kind of playing games. There's no point in even going to school, really. At that point, they got stuff like Khan Academy and you could do homeschooling. What's the purpose of actual K through 12, brick and mortar, East Side, Valley High? Like, what's the point in that anymore? That's going to become more obsolete as the years progress. And then we're seeing the teachers. You have some really good, honest, hardworking people out there that are teachers. And shout out to you guys. You guys, I know you guys are out there. Shout out to y'all. Both of my grandparents on my dad's side were teachers. My dad's mom and dad were both teachers, high school teachers. But I'm seeing a bunch of stuff on TikTok now. It kind of scares me. You know, I'm seeing a bunch of pronouns floating around. You're getting less education, and a lot of these people have no idea what's going on. You know, there was almost a mid-air collision because air traffic control got left and right confused. It's like, what are we? You know your pronouns. You know that you may identify as a different kind of pronoun, but you don't know what direction left is and what direction right is. You don't know. If I was to say, hey, point to north, south, east, and west, it'd be a whole circle. They don't know where it's at. Like, where am I pointing? I have no idea. Where's the North Star? I don't know. Somewhere. They're going to point to the south. It's a mess. But I'm serious. People are just becoming less intelligent because education is not very good anymore. The parents don't care. The parents don't know anything either. The parents on TikTok too, they don't know what's going on. All right. I know I'm like old man shaking fist at cloud right now, but I can't help it. Now I understand why the old man would do stuff like that, because they just remember how they grew up and then they see things deteriorate. So all they can do is just shake fist at cloud. That's me right now. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, I know what to do. And also, this is a podcast you're listening to right now. I forgot that part in the beginning. Listening to a podcast right now, whether you're on Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor, etc., please give me a 5-star rating. If you don't know what a podcast is, links in the box, or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Also, this will be available 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So what's the day? Saturday? This will be available 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning, which would be March 5th, 2023. All righty. And if you are listening to this on the audio only, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for doing that. Oh, give me a 5-star rating on those platforms. Give me a review. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, get off my lawn for sure. That's right, Lisa C. Get off my lawn. That's me 100% right now. But yeah, there's a lot of good people out there that teach kids. They really want the best for the kids. They go above and beyond. They spend their own money. They pour their heart and soul into the industry and into the kids. But a lot of other people don't have the kids' best interests at heart. They don't have good intentions for the kids. It's just not really good. But anyway, I move right along. Do we have more? Hold on. Was there more videos I wanted to show you guys? Oh, Zelensky. So Zelensky wants Crimea back. Huh? How are you going to get Crimea back, though, sir? How are you really going to do that? I mean, they took Crimea in 2014. Now you want that back right now? It ain't really going to happen. It ain't really. I don't really see it going on. I don't even understand what the purpose of this was. Why he would say anything like that? Because in order to get Crimea, you're going to have to attack Russia. And matter of fact, hold on. I have a video. I may have played it last time. I'm not really sure. But I want to play the video of people in Crimea saying, nah, we're good here. We don't need to be part of Ukraine again. We want to be part of Russian Federation. And this video came from NBC. And you would think that they would want to have the other narrative be that they would not want to show people in Crimea wanting to stay in Russia. And if you guys don't know, Crimea, obviously, this was the southern peninsula of Ukraine that was annexed by the Russian Federation back in 2014, before Trump, before Biden, under the Obama administration. And when they took Crimea, it wasn't really a big deal. It was like whatever, kind of a nothing burger. And they still have it. And I think part of the reason why it wasn't a big deal is because there was a vote to say, hey, do you guys want to stay with Russia? Or pardon me, do you want to stay with Ukraine, or do you want to come to Russia? And they voted to go to Russia because they have Russian citizens there. They speak Russian. They're not really Ukrainians. So that's just what that is. Now, there's a city in Crimea, Sevastopol, where all the Russian military is, because, well, not all the military, but there's military right there from Russia and their equipment, because that area is right there on top of the Black Sea. It's a very important place strategically. Let's look at this video, and you can see what I'm talking about as far as the people of Crimea saying, hey, we want to stay right here with the Russian Federation and not go back to Ukraine.
Is Crimea Russian or Ukrainian?
Russian,
Crimea
конечно.
is Russian.
Да.
Of course Russian. 73-year-old Praxovia tells me. Zelensky will not get Crimea back because we have our commander-in-chief, Putin.
Глава команды, Putin.
Every one of them told us that they are Russian and that if President Zelensky thinks Ukrainian forces can come here, they will fight them. President Zelensky has said that the Ukraine war started here and it will end here, but no one was able to tell us how it will end and how much more blood will be spilt.
So my question is, what's the purpose of propping this war up? I mean, really, it's a proxy war, quite obviously a proxy war between the U.S. and Russia, not the U.S. and Russia, but NATO and Russia, which includes the U.S. It's a proxy war, and it's just it's a way to try to attack Russia. Russia has been labeled the enemy, so you got to just attack them, and there's no other way to go about this. I feel like there's another solution, I suppose, because this was not happening under Trump, but now all of a sudden we got to fight everybody. We're getting kind of spicy in South China Sea, talking about Taiwan. We're getting spicy over in Ukraine. We're not spicy. We getting all the way. We're going all the way there with Ukraine and the Russia situation. It's like, where was all this during the Trump administration? Is this the reason why they wanted Trump out so bad? So they were able to continue their warmongering and profit off of that? Is that the reason why? That's the way. If it's not, I can't tell. That's exactly how it seems. That's just how it seems. All right. But I have more. I have more videos for you guys. I got a picture as well. And I kind of want to touch on this picture just briefly because it kind of illustrates an issue I see with taxes and government and why we don't need so many taxes and so much government and so much control and just so much ridiculousness all over the place. All right. Let me go ahead and throw it on the screen for you guys. So here's a picture. There we go. This is from Mises Caucus. I'm not sure who took the picture originally, but the caption says, "A bridge support for the Chicago Metro UP-N track, which carries 34,000 passengers every day. Without government, who would neglect to build the roads?" Now, this, I guess, support beam is damaged beyond repair. It deteriorated to the point where it's not holding the thing up. It's holding itself up, but it's not holding those tracks up. It can't be. And if it is, I mean, that track is a breeze away from falling down. This thing is rusted and disgusted. Now, I was always told that we needed taxes because if you don't pay taxes, then who's going to take care of the roads? How are we going to keep the roads together? You know, my roads, that argument, my roads. If we don't pay taxes, then who's going to take care of the roads? Look at this. And you see that kind of stuff everywhere. And you know what? I would see it back in Virginia, and it was weird because you could tell, you could tell what city prioritized what. So, for example, in Virginia, you have 7 cities that are right next to each other, pretty much, except for like across the water. But let's say on the south side, you got Virginia Beach, Norfolk right next to each other. Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, Norfolk, Suffolk. But there's an interstate called 264 that goes in between the south side and whatnot. In the Norfolk part of 264, the roads are just like this right here. Beat down, tore up, horrendous. Once you cross into Virginia Beach on that same road now, on the same road in Virginia Beach, it's beautiful. So the question is, where's money going in Norfolk? Norfolk got plenty of money. A lot of people that got a lot of money, a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of rich and famous. Where's money going? It's just mismanagement, people not doing the right things with the money. And they say we need more taxes, we need more money, we need to get better funding. Do you need better funding or do you need better management? Do you need better funding or do you need better spending? That's happening right now with the federal government. They keep raising the budget, but it's like, for what though? What are you spending the money on? The government never they never pass audits. They always fail these audits. They got a bunch of money. They don't know where it went. Remember the whole thing with Bill de Blasio and his wife? She lost, what was it, like $1 billion or something crazy? I'm not lying. Hold on. I'm not lying. Well, you know what? That's a good thing. Before I get to Bill de Blasio's wife, the tourists are on the beach. That's a strip. Yeah, but I'm talking about on 264. I'm talking about like Bridal Creek. I ain't talking about down the beach. That's a whole different story. Actually, down the beach is not really. It could be better down the beach. I'll put it to you like that. But I'm talking about basically Norfolk, far away from the strip, like 30 minutes away. And then if you're going to be in that particular section of the interstate, if you're a tourist, you are already been driving from Norfolk. Either you're going to be, you probably would just already be down the beach on the strip at a hotel, one of the oceanfront hotels. You wouldn't be all the way down Bridal Creek unless you were staying in Norfolk. And if that's the case, you will see the raggedy Norfolk 264 before you got to the beach. So it kind of defeats the purpose of having just that area for the tourists, because you would see everything before you got to that particular point. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. Yeah, down the beach is not even all the way it should be. I've seen better. I mean, I guess it's unfair to talk about Miami, but anyway. They tried to clean up down the beach. They had these signs with you couldn't curse. That was a whole big disaster. These signs had no cursing symbols on it, and then it played jazz at like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, it's a whole mess. But anyway, Bill de Blasio's wife. Now, how much did she lose? Okay, hold on. She lost millions. Let's see how much she actually lost. Oh, check it out. Here it is right here. Look at this. Okay, let's not have the ads, Daily Mail. Matter of fact, I don't even want to do that. Not that one. Oh, well, actually, okay, so there's two different ones here. Yeah, actually, check it out. Bill de Blasio and co-mayor wife have wasted $1.8 billion of taxpayer money. Now, this is just probably him tabulating all the money that they wasted. But she lost $850 million. Lost it. Don't know where it's at. Can't account for it. Hey, where is that $1 billion almost? I don't know, man. You tell me where it's at. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know where it went. My dog ate it. How about that? $850 million. Almost $1 billion. You know how much money that is? You know how hard it is to be a billionaire and you lose almost that much money? How'd you lose it? How do you lose that much money? That's like losing a pyramid. That's like losing the pyramid, like from Egypt, one of those. Where's the pyramid at, man? I don't know, man. I lost it. But that thing is 1,000 feet high. I don't know where it is, man. It could be in the Sinai Peninsula. I don't know. You find it for me. It's crazy. That's what I'm talking about right there. And people like that would say we need to spend more money in taxes. We need to raise more taxes. No, go find the $1 billion you lost. And then that way we have a squared away budget. You don't need any more spending. You don't need any more tax collection. Just manage your money appropriately. Manage it properly and don't spend it. Don't steal it. Don't loot from the people. That's happening right now. That's been going on for quite a while. But anyway, I digress. So here's a video I want to show you guys. This is Russell Brand and MSNBC's John Heilemann. That name, I don't know what kind of Swedish. I don't know what's going on. You know, you got mayonnaise or something. Anyway. So let's check it out right quick. This might be on Bill Maher's show. I'm not really sure. But the caption says, breaking, angry MSNBC's John Heilemann melts down, curses out Russell Brand, gets crushed when Russell goes off. Now, I'm not sure about the cursing part. I'm about to try to censor that when I can. But let's go ahead and roll it here.
John, I've not known you long, but I love you already. But I have to say that it's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. And unless we start to embrace, and also, mate, like just spiritually, if I may use that word in your great country, we have to take responsibility for our own perspective. I've been on that MSNBC, mate. It was propagandist nutcrackery on there. I went on a show called Morning Joe. It was absurd the way they carried on.
Good Morning Joe.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It wasn't morning. There was no one called Joe there. No one could concentrate. They didn't understand the basic tenets of journalism. No one was willing to stick up for genuine American heroes like Edward Snowden. No one was willing to talk about Julian Assange and what he's suffered trying to bring real journalism to the American people. And I think to sit within the castle of MSNBC throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous.
My friend,
Make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC.
So what he's saying here, he has some good points. I mean, I'm not a Russell Brand fanboy. I don't, not really. But what he's saying right here, he has some good points. It's like, basically, you are from MSNBC, John Heilemann. How are you going to attack Fox News? They are conservative as you are liberal. You could say they're biased to the right as you are biased to the left. So why attack them? Well, we know why. That's just part of the whole thing. It's part of the brand. If you are MS-13 DNC, you have to attack Fox News because that's the enemy. You have to attack them. That's just what it is.
My friend, I would love, the moment
fight them on a territory you can win on, Joe.
Russell, darling, the moment that you give me a specific example, an actual example.
Okay, I'll give you one.
Wait.
Just we need a specific example.
How about let me tell you what the specific I'd like to hear of. I'd like to hear a specific example, a provable specific example of an MSNBC correspondent or anchor being on television saying something they knew was false, and we're saying behind the scenes to people, I'm about to go out, and we know that the election wasn't stolen or something equivalent.
Example.
But I will go out on television and say the opposite.
Now, the whole thing about the election being stolen, I mean, they're so disingenuous about that because these are the same people that talk about Russia interfered with the election. They stole the election in 2016. Remember that? Remember 2016, that election? Russia stole it. They interfered. They're the reason why Trump won. All this and that. Trump didn't win. We won. Didn't Hillary Clinton say that? Didn't Hillary Clinton say that's the reason why she lost? Hold on. Let me see if I can find Hillary Clinton talking about 2016. Let's see if Google wants to cooperate with me. Let's see if I can find it right quick. All right. Hold on. Here's one from 2017. Clinton won't rule out questioning the 2016 election, but says no clear means to do so. Why you can't just say the election was free and fair and honest and everything else? Why can't you just say that, Hillary Clinton? You know, why this right here is called election denying. This is on NPR. I'm not making it up. from 2017. Wasn't there a whole book about this? What happened? Okay. She want to challenge it, but she can't. She doesn't really see the means to be able to do it. Okay. Talking about Russia, all this and that and the third. So here's the full thing right here. Hillary Clinton says she would not rule out questioning the legitimacy of the 2016 election if new information surfaces that the Russians interfered even more deeply than currently known. Did they interfere at all? I don't think so. This was false, completely false. Just like it was false that you can get the vax and be protected. You can get the mask, put a mask on, be protected. That you're gonna lock down for some years and be fine. It's all BS. It's all BS. MSNBC, they'll say whatever they're told to say. It's not about believing it personally or not. They'll say whatever they're told to say. They don't really care about the legitimacy of the reporting. And if you're a good journalist, you should care about that. You should care about if what you're saying is correct or incorrect. You should worry about that rather than just saying whatever you're being told to say at any particular point in time. Yes, that's a whole big nothing burger. Russia didn't do anything. It was funny when they're talking about Russia buying Facebook and like Facebook ads, like $1,000 in Facebook ads. I'm like, really? Is that all they did? I can do that. If there was $1,000 in Facebook ads purchased from the Russian Federation, I mean, I could do that right now. So am I interfering with the election? If I buy ads, why is that wrong? I'm able to do it. So if it's wrong, why am I able to do it? I don't understand. I didn't steal anything. I didn't take something from somebody that they shouldn't have. I went on to Facebook.com and bought some ads. Huh? That whole thing is just so dumb. But they're following the script. Whatever they're being told to say, they say it. They don't really care about being correct or incorrect. That's all. Yeah, talking heads. That's what MS-13 DNC does. All right. Is there more on that clip? Hold on. I'll play a little bit more of that clip, then I'll move on.
Well, why?
When's my answer?
Just give me the specific example.
I understand the basic point.
Give me a specific example.
All right.
I'm with you. I think it's a false equivalency, Russell.
It's not.
That's your own bias.
It's not about bias. It's a false equivalency because you don't actually know anything about any of these organizations you're talking about. Even on MSNBC once. Big fucking deal.
No cussing. Oh, we can't be cussing.
You can't come out with such a carry. You have a single actual fact.
Do you want an example?
Yes.
The ludicrous, outrageous criticisms of Joe Rogan around ivermectin, deliberately referring to it as a horse medicine when they know it's an effective medicine.
Good one. Why would you call ivermectin horse paste when we all know, because we said, and you can look it up, this is a Nobel Prize winning medication. Was it IVM or was it HCQ? Doesn't matter. We know that it's effective in humans. It works. Why would you call it horse paste? Why? You can get that over the counter for a human. Why would you call that horse paste?
That's not a bad example.
Maddow turning up on the TV saying if you take this vaccine, you're not going to get it when it hadn't been clinically trialed for transmission.
Non-responsive.
You have to listen.
Wait.
Do you think you can improve America by determinedly and avowedly condemning Fox News without acknowledging that you're participating in the same game? Did you not just listen to Bernie Sanders, someone who plainly, legitimately believes in this country and believes it's possible to change, but is bound by corruption, is bound by the lobbying system? Surely it's clear to you, Bill, as one of the great pundits and experts and comic voices, that systemic change is required. Money has to be taken out of politics. We knew.
Okay, now we're getting a little bit into the weeds. But what he's saying right here about the whole thing with IVM, that was a good one. That was a really good one. And then the whole thing about the shot, if you take it, you won't get it when there have been no clinical trials. It didn't even test for that. That wasn't even tested. It just said it. They didn't even test for that. All they tested was to see, I don't even know, what was it, to see if it'll reduce symptoms. That was it. They didn't even test to see if it would stop the transmission. That wasn't even the purpose. The purpose was it going to make you feel better? Basically, lower the symptoms. That's all. So I'll play the last little bit of this for you guys want to hear it. Let him speak. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Need new political systems that genuinely represent ordinary Americans so that we can overcome cultural differences. And bickering about which propagandist network is the worst is not going to save a single American life, not improve the life of a single American child, not going to improve America's standing in the world, and the world needs a strong America. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. So you have an obligation, a duty, not to condemn these people.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Russell Brand had a lot of good points there. Shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, like I say, I'm not a Russell Brand fanboy, but he did very good right there. Yeah, the guy across from him in the t-shirt and the graphic tee with the blazer on top, he was big mad, big upset, offended, because that's his bread and butter. MS-13 DNC is bread and butter, so he feels attacked, so he has to defend himself. And when you start cussing and stuff like that, you already pretty much lost. You know, you already done lost. Russell Brand curses, but I didn't hear him curse throughout that whole thing. That guy, oh, you got big effing. Once you get to the cussing, you're mad. I already know. I've had enough of these debates and stuff online that I know when people are getting upset and they get triggered and start cursing. I was like, oh, nope, gotcha. You're mad. Take it down about 2 notches. Just 2 notches. Relax yourself, because now you're getting outside yourself. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Oh, I have one more from Bill Maher. This is not going to involve Russell Brand and the MS-13 DNC guy, but it's an interesting video. And this is from Zach Voorhees. Shout out to Zach Voorhees on Twitter. And the caption says, Bill Maher goes scorched earth on the, quote, wet market, unquote, COVID theory. Check it out.
Yeah, COVID, big in the news there. The Department of Energy said that they think it was most likely that it did come from the lab, the Wuhan lab. I mean, this has been I've said from the beginning, should not be political. Let's just find out the science. But that's what the FBI says that. Some people say that it could have leaked from the lab. And this is a big story. The manager at the Wuhan bat on a stick today said, where do I go to get my reputation back? You know? But
bat on a stick was hilarious.
We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. Stop politicizing everything. We're so arrogant. They know. You don't fucking know.
Oh, I'm sorry for the cussing. You know, I know we got little kids watching. It's not my fault. Blame the white man right there. Don't blame me.
Nobody knows. Even the Department of Energy, which said they think this is happening, they said we're reporting this with low confidence. Then why say anything low confidence? Well, you know what? You work for the government. We have that for you too. Okay.
That was my point too. Was like, why, if you have low confidence, why say it? I think they had to say it because people were on the inside threatening to probably say more, or I don't know. They were forced to say something about this not being from a bat or a rat or a cat or a dog on the outside. No bat on the stick situation happened. What happened was, it was so obvious though. I mean, that's still every time I hear that, every time I go back to that in my mind, I get triggered. Because anybody with a brain could have seen that this thing did not originate from somebody eating a random bat on the street. So a foodborne illness became a deadly, genetically altered version of the common cold. That's what happened. So if I have a regular cold, right, I got the sniffles, and then I eat some bush meat, I eat that, and I get sick. My cold becomes a super cold, and it kills millions of people all over the world. Come on, man. Rather than listening to that dumb explanation, let's go to the one that makes the most sense. Here is a virology lab with gain of function research that the U.S. is funding right here in China, and people right around the lab are getting sick. right around the lab are getting sick with some crazy unknown thing, and then the whole world gets sick because they get on planes and travel. It was so simple, so easy to understand. And you know the reason why I think they didn't do it on purpose is because they still got dumb restrictions in China right now that don't work. Lockdowns. It's like, what's the point of doing that to your own people? Hurting your own economy in China. Why do that? If it's about trying to attack others, why do it to your own people? You see, they flood us with fentanyl over in the U.S., but they don't allow that in China. They don't flood their own streets with fentanyl. They don't do that, but they do it to us. They flood us with a bunch of just garbage. Like, they don't do, like, TikTok. They flood us with a bunch of garbage on social media called TikTok. Although TikTok is a Chinese company, TikTok is banned in China. They have their own version of TikTok called Douyin. Douyin is TikTok, but it's not TikTok, meaning the content on there is different. First of all, for kids, it's a time limit, 40 minutes a night. And after that, it'll stop working. There's ways around that, but I mean, little kids ain't gonna know 40 minutes a night is gonna stop working. And when they're on TikTok, they're gonna see science experiments, positive videos. They're gonna see things that are going to enrich their children's minds. But on the US or the Western version of TikTok, you can see whatever you want to see. All just ridiculous nonsense. And they do that on purpose. They flood us with actual opium, digital opium, but not their own people. But with the virus, it killed them first. Why? A mistake. Like I said, you could go in a hospital, Beijing, Shanghai, try finding a bar of soap. They've not discovered germ theory yet in many parts of the country. Beijing, go to Beijing, try to get a bar of Dove soap. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. You better get ready for the rainwater to just rain down and wash your hands that way. But anyway, I'll move on. If you like what you hear, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Let me come back right here. Do I have more videos for you guys? I think I do. I think I have more videos for you guys. Oh, the Tennessee scandal, that whole thing was a mess. I don't know if I want to talk about that right now. We got little kids watching, but basically, okay, here's my thing. So the Tennessee scandal, what we have to give you the PG version of it, the PG version only, what you have with the Tennessee scandal, and I'll put up their police officer photos, not anything crazy. But what you have here is a woman who had affairs, I guess you would say, with a bunch of other cops on the force. It was like 4 or 5 guys. Okay. And they all got fired as a result of that. Okay. They all got fired as a result. She is married and was married throughout the whole time. She didn't get married recently. She was married while all that was going on. Now, she got fired, as did the other guys. Now she's suing the department for, I forgot exactly what it was, but she's suing the department, violating civil rights, all kind of stuff, talking about she was groomed and she said no, but they were being persistent. There's no criminal allegations. There's no assault charges being filed. Nothing like that's going on. And she said that she felt like she was trapped, isolated, and had nowhere to go. Whole time she's married. So here's my thing. If you don't have anywhere, if you feel like you're being harassed, you don't have anywhere to go on a job, try talking to your husband about it. Maybe. Try talking to your husband about it rather than just saying whatever. And there's an interview from her where she said something different. I think it was an interview before she went to the news where she was saying, well, hey, I was on the edge of a divorce. I was about to get divorced from my husband, and the guy I was with, it was the same thing with his wife. So we just were hanging out with each other, and it was okay. So you go from that to, well, I was being groomed and I didn't know any better. And my thing is, you have a gun and a badge. You could take somebody's life and get away with it. Not saying that you shouldn't be able to if you're an officer and you got to use your gun, in a situation. But you have the ability to do that. So you have that ability to go out there and have that responsibility as a police officer. But you can't control yourself and you're getting groomed as an adult. I thought that either if you get groomed as an adult, it's one of two things going on. Well, it's really one thing going on if you get groomed as an adult. If you're groomed as an adult, you have a mental problem, obviously. And again, if you're mentally unstable, maybe you shouldn't be a police officer. Maybe you should go do something else, but not to be an officer on the force with a mental problem. If you were a child, that'd be different, but you're a fully grown woman with a husband, married before all this stuff happened. So is that not called like adultery, cheating? In some states, if you cheat on your spouse, you could be held legally liable. You could be sued for that. Or I don't want to say sued, but you could be held legally liable depending on circumstances. So she's suing, and all these guys, including her, have the whole little gaggle right here has been fired. The chief got fired too because somebody sent him texts of her, some inappropriate photos of her, and he got them on his phone. So they found those inappropriate photos and he got fired too. He didn't engage in anything with her physically, but he had some unseemly private photos of her on his phone. So my message to the young men when this whole thing happened, the message is, do not do this. You're a young man or old man. Some of these guys got grades like me. These guys ain't really necessarily little kids. These are probably like 40, 50-year-old men. Don't do this, because what's going to happen is you're on a job. It's already risky. You're married. She married. That's going to be a problem. Married woman, don't do it. What's going to happen is y'all going to get in trouble. And no matter what you say, you could say everything was all consensual. There was no problems. You're losing your job, first of all. Second of all, you're going to be damaged reputation-wise. She's going to say, you know what? Or she could say, you know what? I didn't want to do this. I was groomed. They made me do it. They convinced me that this is the only way to go about doing my job. She was on the interview saying something different before this. On the interview, she was saying that, it was all good. I was having fun. But now that she's gotten fired, it's something different. So the best way to avoid this is to not do this. You want to get with a young lady or whatever, go outside of your job. Emma Udoka, Emma Udoka, all these guys want to go right there in their job. Don't do this, man. Just be a regular person. Don't try to be one of these guys passing photos around. It's all bad. It's all bad. Yes, of course, she's involved with it. They're all equally wrong. But hey, you know what? I'm going to go on TV and start crying and see who's going to believe me. Yeah, shame on all of them. Yeah, shame on the whole, everybody involved in the situation. Don't do that to yourself. It's the easy way to get fired. And then beyond that, you can find yourself in serious trouble in a different way, legally, not just losing your job. Yeah, if you like your job, you want to keep it, or you want to have another job like that, because, okay, they got fired from this job. Now my next thing would be, okay, are they going to try to apply somewhere else? You had one guy that was a canine cop. He loved being a cop. He had a dog and everything. He probably didn't want to lose that job. But now it's like, what you do? Do you go to try to find another job? You got a specialized skill there as a canine cop. So not only are you an officer, you can go out there and arrest people. You also have the canine in the back, and you have a bond with the canine and all that good stuff. Man, all bad. But anybody could have seen it coming from the beginning. Anybody could have seen this whole thing playing out the way it played out. Same thing with Emma Udoka, all these guys on the job. It always plays out the same way when people get in trouble. Now, if nobody gets in trouble and it's all good, then it's all good. But it's all good till it's not all good. And when that person gets in trouble, when they get fired, when they get questioned, when they face personal turmoil because of the situation, you're going to be in trouble too because you were involved. You were involved. The chief got fired for having text on his phone. So don't get involved with it. You know what? Check it out. If I'm working at Lavergne Police Department and somebody texts me some stuff, I'm deleting it right away. I'm blocking the number. I'm going to confront them like, yo, don't send me that. I don't want that. I might even go to HR on you because I'm not trying to have somebody try to dig up my AT&T, records and be like, oh, well, ABL got the pictures right there at 8:55 p.m. on a Saturday night. He got the pictures and he didn't go to HR. He should have said something, but he didn't. So now he's in trouble too. Nope, not gonna catch me. Hey, you know what? y'all already know how I'm gonna do. Y'all know how I'm gonna act. It's like, look, check it out. Hey, HR, HR, they sent me some stuff from my phone. I don't want it. So I'm telling you right now, I deleted it, I blocked the number. I don't want it. I'm on the record right now, and I'm recording myself right now. So we're not gonna have any problems in the future, are we? Okay, bet. Cool. That's how we gonna leave it. That's how I'm gonna be. Straight up. Oh, I'm the corporate people complain about corporate structures, corporate cultures being too rigid and too, well, just rigid, inflexible, rigid, whatever, too by the book. But the reason why it's like that, in my opinion, is because when problems happen, you want to have all your I's dotted and T's crossed. So nobody can say that you did something you didn't do. So you can't get put in a situation that is not your business. Yeah, it's not my business. Y'all handle that. I'm not involved with it at all. Okay. But I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. You guys are fantastic. I got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I'll get to the calls in just one moment. Thank you to Nick Coriel, who says, hello, my dear friend, with the dear emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Violet for becoming a member as an ABL supporter. Thank you to Hunter, also for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Matthew Richardson, who says, nope, number one cause of death of children is swimming pools. Teach your kids to swim. That's right. Thank you to Ginger Ramos for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Matthew again, who says, teens plus traffic and suicide by any method are equal. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, New Jersey cat farmer blew her house up in New York Post. Oh, I saw that. Yeah. So, hold up. So she was facing an eviction, right? This right here is a terrible way to go. Terrible way to go. So she was facing an eviction, and she threatened to blow it up, but then burned it down with 30 cats inside.
Ended with this massive and deadly fire in New Jersey. It started when a woman's landlord tried to evict her, and in response, police say the woman set the house on fire. News 4's Brian.
I might do a video about that, actually. That's crazy. Totally crazy. It's like, man, is it that serious? I understand you don't want to get evicted. It happens, you know. I was that close to being evicted. I was that close. But, hey, by the grace of God, I was not evicted. This is many years. This is like probably about a long time ago. I can't even really remember. 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I don't know. Back in the day, back in my 20s, put it to you that way. Now I'll be 40 here pretty soon. I'll be 40 next year. But yeah, burning the whole, and then 30 cats. It's like, all right, how many cats do you need? What are we doing? What exactly? That's a prototypical crazy cat lady. If you got 2 or 3 cats, 30, you have a legitimate cat farm, a cat farmer. That gets a F-range Xbox for that one. Matthew also says, am I GAY if I like the chocolate with the nuts? Thank you for that, man. Thank you to Lowell, who says, anyone else notice credit card companies jacked up interest at least 3% recently on the low? I've not noticed that, but I wouldn't be surprised because the Fed keeps rising their rates up, so they got to keep rising their rates up too. Try buying a house right now. Forget about it. My mortgage is sweet. 2.75. Oh, mwah. Try buying a house right now though. 7%. Man, please forget it. Like I saw a stat that says you can take out the same amount of money in the mortgage, the same loan, the same home loan, like the same actual dollar amount. And if your rate is like 3%, it could be $1,800. But if it's 6%, it could be like $2,400 or something crazy, some big jump per month. Just from the rate increase, not dealing with more money being lent. The rate increase can cause your payment to skyrocket like that. Now, obviously, we got fixed rates. We're not dealing with no adjustable rate mortgages. But if you bought a house in 2020 versus right now in 2023, your rate is going to be ridiculous. Yeah, I got an excellent rate. If something told me at that moment in 2020 to buy a house, it was like, yo, you're going to have some cash coming in. Go ahead and get a house right now. I don't have an extravagant house. I could have one of those big houses on the mountain or something like that. But nah, I have a decent, modest house in subdivision. And that rate is amazing. You know, I think about selling it and getting the equity out. But why? Look at my rate. How am I going to find anywhere that's cheaper? I'm not. To find a place that's cheaper than this, I'd be renting an apartment. For the, you know, it just wouldn't be happening. Thank you to JRC1 who says, can we just start signing the divorce papers already? You're talking about the United States having a divorce with itself. Thank you to No White Guilt who says, simple, Jon Stewart, the pedo preppers don't get access to children. There you go. Zedacious Gainsword says, China doesn't respect their citizens beyond, I'm not sure what you were going to say, but I'm with you. Thank you to Alien Spaceship who says, those police officers thought they couldn't get caught. It's best to not do that stuff. Exactly. Don't do it. Stay away from that kind of behavior because it's only going to hurt you. It can't help you at all. Thank you to Machine for becoming an ABL supporter. And thank you to Nick Corio who says, regarding the fire with the cats, what a catastrophe. Hold on. Do I have my... And then, hold on, one more. Yeah, there. One more time for the volume. There you go. Shout out to you. Great joke. But that's a wrap for the super chat. It's time for the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. If the lines are jammed up, don't blame me. Blame the white man. If it doesn't work, don't blame me. Blame the white man. There's also an email and Skype if you want to be right here by the corner of the screen. Emails in the description box for the video portion. And let's go ahead and get it rocking and rolling right now. 614 on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Camille. How you doing this evening?
It's all good. About yourself?
I'm doing good. Hey, listen, as far as Jon Stewart, like, I don't understand why he would continue to keep harassing and asking that same question. Like, why? You know, why don't you think that, well, okay, because they're babies, maybe. They don't know anything. They don't need to know anything like that. I have a big conflict. I am a married woman. You guys know me because I had Dan, poor Dan, when he was sick, was on the phone. But I used to work in a gay bar way back in the day, back in the 90s. I didn't know anything about none of that stuff. until I was like 20, 21.
Right.
I wasn't supposed to know anything about that. You know what I mean? And I just think that we are definitely pushing way too much stuff on people, especially little kids. Kids can't be kids. It's like they have to be grown adults. I mean, when people start taking offensive, they started having stripper hour. Like every time you turn a page, we're going to take off a piece of clothing. So, I just don't understand. So until you start getting those type of things, then maybe we can really start having conversations about why you feel a certain kind of way about pushing things that are supposed to be for adults, not children. So, I love listening to you. I've had back surgery, and which is not fun, but I'm just kicking it here. Me and my kitties, we do have cats, and I feel so horrible. But I only think the only reason why the woman did that was because it's already hard enough. There's overpopulation, and when you have a kind heart, just think about when you close your doors to people, you close your doors to animals too. And it's tough out there. It is really tough out there. And if you don't have a home and you're looking for a home, then, oh my gosh. I mean, I struggled to keep our family together. I don't have any kids, but I have cats. And but my heart goes out. So I approve on all the topics that you have run down. Me and Dan, we laugh all the time, and he always is like, you know what, ABL. I like ABL because he be doing it. He be saying it. So I just want to tell you and the rest of the ABL crew, hey, we love you. We got your back.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You're welcome.
That was a great call. Shout out to her. Very good call. All righty. Let's go. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, baby? It's JP Scotchman from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, you know what? Hey, shout out to that last caller. I'm a cat dude. I've always had cats since I was a little kid. So, yeah, I know what it's like. Cats they're fun little animals. But anyway, I'll keep it simple tonight. And actually, first, I gotta say, I'm sorry for last week, dude, because I was really lit when I called in last week on Wednesday, and I'm kind of getting off topic, So sorry about that, man.
It's all good.
Yeah. But anyway, tonight, I want to say one thing. One topic. Zelensky, this little guy from Ukraine. I don't like what's going on over there. I don't like the relationship that he has with the Biden family. I don't like what happened. I don't like Biden flying over there at night and then coming back at night. Yeah, there's some funny, shitty business going on. And then when he told me that I don't have any kids, I don't have any boys or daughters. When he told me that my children would be fighting in that war for his country and that they might die, you can kiss my freaking butt. Get out of here. I will pick him up by his hair and by his pants, and I will toss him out of the house. Yeah. Yeah. So Zelensky, yeah, I want to say a lot of bad things right now, ABL, but I'm not going to. But Zelensky is a con artist, along with him and Joe Biden and the whole Biden family. Yeah, so get the heck out of here. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. Yeah.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. All right, have a good night, dude.
I know. All right, shout out, man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 860, you're the line I'm speaking to.
Hey, ABL, it's your old friend F&A Ranger Xbox, buddy. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, man, what a crazy world, huh?
Absolutely.
The first time you said cat farmer, I laughed till my stomach hurt. It was awesome. And so I've always used that phrase, too. There's a future cat farmer. Yeah, she's a cat farmer in the works.
Exactly.
I don't have anything against cats, but I don't want one in my house. I had one before. They like to scratch everything up. I love my Rottweilers. No cats. My daughter wanted a cat. I told her, I said, well, darling, you want a cat? This is the best way to go about doing it. Get you a good education. Study hard. Get good grades. Let's get you into a good college, and you get a good career. Save some money for a down payment on a house. You can have all the cats you want.
There you go.
And, wasn't telling her she couldn't have a cat. I was just telling her the best way to go about her having a cat. So, I don't know. ABL, I want to apologize, and I want to clarify something to one of the guys in the chat last week. He busted me. He's on to my game. I was grifting for money. My Rumble account's up to a whole 12 cents after 2.5 years, and if I get another 24 cents, I'll probably retire. But no, what I meant by that is when doctors like Dr. Ryan Cole speak at the White Coat Summit over 2.5 years ago, and he's talking about the spike protein in the shot and how it's causing the damage to the heart and the kidneys and the ovaries and the testes. He goes, save this. So what I was thinking is everybody should have these videos saved on their own personal storage devices and online, so that there's so many of them they can't deny the truth. That's where I was getting, like your own personal library, but digitally.
Right, of course.
And that's what I meant with that. And can I give a shout out to my daughter?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, sir. My daughter, Jasmine Ariel, was just in the combined New England Southern Region 8th grade combined choir of all the schools. And she scored a 185 out of 200 to get there in front of judges. She was there all day long by herself. We couldn't even go. We had to drop her off school. They took her on a bus. And it was pretty intense, but it was a great concert. The kids did great. And that's what kids should be doing. They don't care about anything other than playing and having fun. And ABL, first time I remember distinctly seeing a black kid in class was in 1966, Pearl Harbor High, in the gymnasium when they were introducing us to the band instruments. I think I was in the 4th grade, maybe 3rd grade. And I looked at him and I said, man, cool. That was my thought. And it was also the same year I realized you don't pick up bees and play with them. And I'll leave you with that, ABL. You have a good night.
Thank you for the
Love
call,
the
man.
show. God bless America. Bye.
You. All right, great call. As always, you guys are fantastic. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Let's get to some more here. 904 on line. Who am I speaking to?
Man, this is James. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I just ABL, I'm calling from Jacksonville, Florida.
All righty.
And I work for a company that works off of Blount Island, Blount. And it's a military base right next to Mayport Naval Station, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are pulling in ships left and right this last 4 weeks, the last month and a half. And we are taking tanks and all kinds of weird armor off of these damn boats.
Mm.
And we're shipping them up to New York. I don't know where they're going from 95 north to New York, but that's a lot of them.
I mean, it's a good question. Like, where are they going? Like, what's happening? What's the purpose?
I don't know if we're just trying to clean these things and just give them back to to our where we're supposed to give them back to, but that's been a lot of movement down here, and the only thing we've been moving for the last 6 months has been cargo, and now we're moving military vehicles.
Wow.
And it's a bunch of them. And matter of fact, there was 2 days, every vehicle was white, marked, called UN. So it makes me kind of wonder. I was like, what in the world is that crap about? You know what I mean?
Hey.
I mean, if we're moving in vehicles and this and this and that, and we're used to military stuff, but when you start moving in vehicles that say UN, what's up with that?
I'm reading the chat right here, and somebody says they're NATO APCs for public control. So, I mean, that's definitely, that's possible.
Yeah, and listen, I'm just one of the guys that's on the ship loading stuff. I'm not a guy in the office that knows anything about paperwork or know nothing. I'm just a peon on the ship, if I can say that. You know what I mean? But I make $26 an hour just loading up trucks. It's like, okay, park it and come on, let's go. And we're loading these things up left, right, and there's plenty of UN vehicles coming into the States. And this is coming from the port of Jacksonville, Florida, at a Naval Station Mayport. Look that up on your map.
Absolutely, will do.
We have not been hit by a hurricane, thank God, for over 40 years because of the way Mayport, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida is shaped. For some reason, they come right up the coast of Florida, and they skirt into the Carolinas, and they go into the Gulf. There's something about that mighty St. Johns River. Anyways, I want to tell you about that movement of UN vehicles that's coming through the port of Jacksonville, Florida. It's crazy. I don't know why. I ain't got a clue, but that's nuts.
Yeah, it sounds pretty crazy.
It is. All right, brother. I love you, and I appreciate your show, and you are so spot on, brother. I love you, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, bro.
So I'm looking at the map right now. I didn't know Jacksonville was quite like that. I didn't know Jacksonville was kind of like offset away from the coast. It's interesting how that is. Very, very interesting. But it kind of makes sense strategically because it's a river that comes in, and then it's like right on the river on both sides. Very interesting. Your line speaker to 919.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is J That Guy. First off, I just want to say I appreciate what you do. And I'm calling at a VA. I'm a student at Norfolk State. I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate what you're doing. I want you to keep doing what you're doing, man. And yeah, everything's just crazy right now. So as long as you keep pushing out that good message, what Russell Brand was saying earlier, man, I tell you, man, that's some good stuff right there. But definitely keep on going what you're doing and all that.
Oh yeah, I got to do it, man, because people need to hear honesty. Too much of stuff on television, mainstream media is just not real. It's not right. And then they'll admit what we've been saying here for years. Just like the whole thing with the virus, where it came from, the vaccine not really working. We said all those things 3 years ago. So I got to keep going for people to get the honest truth in a timely fashion, rather than waiting on the mainstream media where you might never get it. So thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. Take care, bro.
Same to you.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to the caller, Norfolk State. Yeah, Norfolk State. Shout out to them. I've been there many a time. Park Ave, all that good stuff. Yeah, right downtown Norfolk. I almost went there, but I just couldn't get in contact. I could never get my meeting with the admissions guy on point. 614, you don't know who am I speaking to?
This is David.
All righty, what's happening?
I just want to make one comment about the Tennessee officers.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that they wanted to order Five Guys for lunch, and she came back with 4.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good one. Shout out to him. All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Oh, hi, ABL. Stanley from UK. How's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Yeah, good. Thanks for taking my call again, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that guy who looks like he should be auditioning for a Top Gun. What's his name? Zelensky?
Yeah, Zelensky.
Yeah, so what? He wants Crimea back, right?
That's right.
I mean, Crimea River, man. Do I get a boom boom on it? Or?
Yeah, you get one of those. There you go.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I was scrolling through YouTube the other day, and I can't remember who posted it, but it was just a picture of a description of Zelensky, and so I've got it saved. What does it say? It says, I don't know. Again, I don't know how true this is. So if you want to fact check me, again, I don't know if it's true or not. But it says the president of Ukraine owns a $35 million home in Florida, and has a 1.2 billion in an overseas bank account. Zelensky owns 15 homes, 3 private planes, and has a monthly income of $11 million. Why is no one questioning where our aid is going? I mean, I don't know if that's entirely true. What do you think about that?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it because, times like this, especially, these people get pretty wealthy. And just like the whole Anthony Fauci effect during the pandemic, he all of a sudden became much more wealthy. It's like, well, how did that happen? Did he just get paid more at his job? Because ultimately he's a federal employee. So where is other money coming from? So I wouldn't be surprised if he has a lot of personal wealth as a result of all this action in Ukraine.
Yeah, like I wonder if he had all this money before he was president. You know what I mean? Because I know he was an actor and he was a comedian and that, but I don't know if he made that much money before.
I doubt it.
It's kind of interesting how people get into, power and all of a sudden they're just like a millionaire, billionaire. And I mean, really, he should be kind of funding the conflict on his own, really, instead of like getting the West to fund him. I mean, it's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I was walking my dog the other day at the park, and met some other guys walking his dog, and obviously our dogs were playing. So me and the guy was just chatting, and somehow we got into conversation about Zelensky and Russia. And I asked his opinion. I was like, "What do you think of Zelensky?" And he was like, "Oh, he's a hero. He's preventing World War III. Blah blah blah." And I burst out laughing. I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing, and he kind of gave me the death stare. And of course. And I said to him, "So what do you think about Trump?" And then it was the complete opposite. He was like, "Oh, he has no integrity. He's a liar. He tried to perform a coup on January 6th." And again, I burst out laughing. And in my head, I had like so many thoughts flying around, like, "Oh, say this, say that, say this, say that," and just destroy him. But again, for a while now, I kind of just have to hold back because it's kind of pointless. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm there to walk my dog in a park, not sort of get in a debate with a nutcase.
Exactly. Like I rarely ever do that on the street because people, they don't know how to really have those kind of, they don't know how to have those kind of conversations. Like a normie, Whenever the normie is ready to get out of Normieville, they'll come to me. But until then, I won't really approach them.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Like it's took me quite a while to sort of develop this patience. Like my kind of heart was racing at the time, but I was like, no, just let him just spew what he has to say. You know what I mean? I kind of felt like even if I did come out of all these things, he probably wouldn't have changed his mind anyway. He would have probably just come up with some sort of other excuse. But some people you just can't help. And yeah, sorry. As for that Russell Brand clip as well, the one who was on Bill Maher. That guy next to him, when he said, can you give me some proof, like, of what you're saying about when NMBC spew propaganda? And I'm thinking, you've got years and years and years of like compilation clips of all the propaganda they spew. I mean, doesn't he watch SMBC or?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's like literally lying to people's faces. I mean, everything they pretty much say is just it all comes out to be lies, and I'm like, people like that are just so evil. I mean, I don't understand how he thinks people can actually believe actually what he's saying. It's like, it's kind of odd like watching it.
Right on.
But yeah, sorry, Abel, I don't want to take too much time. Thanks again for taking my call, and yeah, appreciate everything, man. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, mate. Take care. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Yeah, MS13 DNC is full of nonsense, and they all know that. But they got to protect their brand. 804, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Travis from Virginia.
All right, man. What's happening?
Nothing much. Just trying to say I like the show and basically keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, shout out to my fellow Virginia brethren from the 804 out there, Richmond area. That was our area code back in the day before they changed it to 757, before we really blew up and became a bigger place. All right. Who am I speaking to? 747, you're on the line?
Good evening. My name's Ray. So I live out in California. I know it's the state that gets hated on, but it's kind of a little bit scary to see like how many foreclosures have been popping up recently. Like I check out on Zillow, and it's like in my town there's like a couple 100,000 people. Like it's not small, but in the last 6 months it's like the foreclosures and pre-foreclosures have just gone up a lot. I mean, because you can see all this stuff on Zillow, and it's like all public, and it's like, wow, I had no idea this guy right down the street was in foreclosure. But it kind of makes sense because it's like the state itself is so uncompetitive with like income tax. And people don't even realize it until you leave the state. It's like, I mean, I sent you an email about this earlier, but I mean, there's like states that actually make themselves competitive, like reducing the income tax rate or like making some type of benefits for like the foreign tax credit. Like it offsets like some investment income. California does nothing like that. It has like a progressive structure, so everything is basically taxed higher the more you make. It's like super uncompetitive, and I'm like witnessing the fleeing from my state.
It's crazy to see it in real time because you see stuff like that on the news, or you know what's going on, but when you actually can see it, when you see all of what's going on, it's crazy, and you know that it's not just a talking point or something a rumor. It's a real thing that's going on right now in our country.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this is kind of unrelated to the income tax rate, but I was talking to one of my friends who had just like packed up in a U-Haul and pretty much moved everything to this other state. But he was saying the worker at U-Haul was saying like they're assessing like some extra fees on people leaving outside of California because they don't actually have enough people returning to California. So they have to get extra drivers to actually bring the vehicles back where normally they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they have to because they keep losing their vehicles. They're going one way. And at a certain point, it's like, well, how I think they probably rely on people bringing the vehicles back or, moving to California. But with more people leaving and going one way, then they're coming back one way, they're having a hard time being able to keep up. Yeah. I was hearing about that probably about 2 years ago. So I'm not surprised. And, I was looking at some major metro areas around the country, and a lot of areas in Florida are gaining population, metro areas. But Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, losing population. It's like I think the biggest drop was San Fran with like a 2.5% decrease in a year. And that's a pretty big thing. And that's your a net loss. So after people move there and people leave, you have more leaving that are actually staying. It's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, not to take up all your time, but it's like upsetting because you have like this, or what used to be this really developed area. I mean, I remember my dad, when he was alive, talking about how he moved out here, like to practice his field. And I mean, I can't imagine someone like willingly choose to move out here. But yeah, that's all I got. So thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. California losing population. New York City losing population. Chicago, Illinois losing. But people they're flooding out here though. I remember hearing probably about 2 years ago where you're getting plane loads of Californians coming to parts all over the country. And last time I was in Scottsdale, Arizona, Phoenix, it was like a small. It was just like California, really. 209 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Debbie, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
Hanging in there. I have a question for you. Do you ever watch Godzilla?
Sometimes, yes.
Well, I believe it was on Valentine's Day. I'm not for sure though that Roseanne was on.
I did not see that one.
And okay, well, it was a good one because like a couple of times she basically said what I've been thinking for a long time is that the Democrats and Bill Gates and George Soros and all these people, they're just trying to kill us all because they want population control. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's probably something that, they definitely want population control. Now, I don't know how they're going to go about doing it, but they definitely want population control. They've already said that. They said that there's too many people on the planet. They need to have a lower population. They've already come out and said that publicly. Now, the way that they're going to achieve that goal is a different story. You said what?
Everybody involved. I said they have the WEF. We don't have any kind of FBI or CIA because they're all dirty, it seems like. And I'm just so worried about my great grandkids,
I understand.
What we're doing to this, what they're doing to us ain't right. And how come, Anthony, I don't want to get you in trouble, and I hope I don't, but how come if we're the boss, how come we can't just say it's time for the military to take over?
Well, I'm not sure what they're really going to. I think we just need to get back to the states being more in control and not have so much faith in the federal government. That's what we should do. The military, I don't know if you really want that because it's going to be more federal stuff too. Let's get back to the states being more in control.
I know, I understand that if the federal government and Russia and China and all these other ones would quit messing with our elections, I don't believe for a minute that Biden won by 81,000, however many, 81, whatever. I don't believe he won. He beat Obama. Give me a break. you know, and Trump done more for this country than anybody ever has. But anyway, I appreciate you taking my call. I just wanted to know what you thought about it. But if you can, try to catch the episode with Roseanne. I mean, she kept screaming it. You know how Roseanne is a couple of times, and it was like, that's what I believe too, Roseanne. So anyway, you have a great night, okay?
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
You
All right. Shout out to her. Thank you all for being here. You guys are fantastic. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And thank you all. You guys are fantastic. There's also an email in the Skype if you want to get on through the bottom left-hand corner and express yourself that way. It's all good. Yeah, shout out to everybody reading in the chat. You know, I try to read the chat as much as I can. You know, when I get to talking, sometimes I can't really see the chat, but I definitely glance at the chat here and there. All right, let's 504 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man, what's happening?
All right, so I have a couple of things to say. First off, with Zelensky and Russia, I think that, you know, he is definitely, in my opinion, using our country, you know, and the things he's saying is very inappropriate about saying how he's going to want all the American people to go over there and fight and die over there. And it reminds me of the Vietnam War.
Yeah, that definitely does have some shades of that.
Right, because they're fighting over, you know, overseas for a country, you know, that had nothing to do with the place over here. And I wish they would do more to help the people here. And the thing with Russia, I feel that, you know, because it's not a communist country anymore, and it kind of has symbolism from the time when it was the Russian Empire. Like it had the Tsarist symbol. The Tsar was like the king. And there was like, you know, like the double-headed eagle with the crown on its head. And basically our side at some point was infiltrated by cultural Marxism, and they're actually not happy with Russia that it turned away from communism.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could make sense.
Yeah. And because like even in Russia in the beginning, it was very like Lenin legalized the LGBTQ stuff and abortion, and it was very, you know, liberal. They were people dressed as devils, similar to what they do here now, and they burnt down churches and stuff. And although, you know, Stalin was bad, but he was more traditional like than the other ones, and they brought more of that into the Soviet Union, so it was still communist, but they went away from the woke stuff because the people had enough of it. And this eventually, I guess, and I think led to Russia coming away from it. And that's basically, you know, what my thoughts about it are. And what do you think?
I mean, there's a lot there. Like, what's your specific question that you want to, you know?
Do you think that, you know, our side has been infiltrated by people from the left also?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's definitely. And it's been like that for quite a while, for sure. A lot of public figures, political people also, definitely, absolutely.
Right. And also the other caller from England was talking about how all the money that Zelensky has, and that makes sense. That this whole thing seems like a giant money scam.
Oh yeah, well that's definitely part of it, because we know about the 10% for the big guy. We know about all that going on already. So yeah, money is definitely gonna be part of it. Right. The war machine. That's part of the reason why they don't want Trump in there, because they want to continue the war machine, continue to get money that way.
Right. And also, right, that was about Russia. And I also want to mention about the vaccine that I definitely, from, you know, doing research and all, it definitely, as I said, first of all, yeah, I don't think animals can transmit something to humans. And I definitely, from when I was like back in that time, I wasn't too sure, but it definitely seems like it was something made like a bioweapon.
Well, I mean, that's possible.
You know, it was like made in a laboratory. That's basically what I'm saying.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, I remember I mentioned on here about Georgia Peach's mom is sick, and she was telling me how the doctor that they go to was saying that the vaccine, probably helped her mom get worse. That was the thing that made her mom sick.
Oh wow.
Right. It was a doctor in Chattanooga, and
wow.
I see so many stories on the internet and whatnot about how the vaccines make people sick and whatnot. So that in itself seems very bad too.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're going to start to see a lot more of that as time progresses.
Yeah. Like even my grandparents that did it, they are not really the same. I know they're older, but I don't really think the vaccine helped. I'm really glad I didn't get it. It was scary. It was like being in the Twilight Zone.
Right on.
Right. Like I remember in the Twilight Zone, there was an episode about the aliens, and they came to a neighborhood and they turned the neighborhood on each other by causing supernatural things to happen. And I think the left does that a lot. And if they're really, I believe there are aliens, but I really don't think they're that good. And I think that they're probably doing something like that with different things. But yeah, that pretty much sums up what I have to say. But I'll just say that, yes, I feel that our side of the West has been infiltrated by the cultural Marxists, and they, have a lot of that is influencing the stuff with Ukraine and Russia. Now, I want to, before I go, do you know if Zelensky is conservative or liberal?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was talking to a Rebel Without a Reason. He thinks that, in his opinion, he kind of leans to the idea that he's liberal. I just want to get your thoughts on it, because if Ukraine is conservative, a lot of the liberals, if they got their way with Ukraine, they're going to make it like how the West is. And if they're for conservative values, they should be against it. So that's why I'm really confused about what their values are.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say a guy like Zelensky's on our side. Either way you put conservative, liberal, you're probably not on our side.
I agree. It can't be, because I know Putin was talking about how our country is going away from Christianity and it's doing, woke things and stuff. And it makes sense what he was saying. Ironically, a guy way over there was saying that. And also, did you see the Trump thing earlier? He made a speech.
No, I didn't. I saw that he made a speech, but I didn't watch the speech.
All right. He was very good. He was just talking about how he, the different things that he did with the terrorists and how he got them to not kill American soldiers, and how we're in the brink of World War III pretty much right now.
Right on, man. I gotta go check it out, man. Thank you for the call as always. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Alrighty, Les, what's happening?
Hey, BL, how are you?
It's all good. About yourself?
I'm good. I unmuted you before I even clicked pause on the stream.
It's all
And
good.
usually it's the other way around, but good show so far. I want to actually go ahead and just make 3 quick comments. So one, the whole Zelensky wants Crimea thing. It's like a child that continuously not getting his way, and he's just demanding for more, because first we have all this demanding for money, and then it's the demanding of, your daughters and sons got to come and fight for us, a war that in reality we could care less about. And now he's demanding for Crimea. So it's just a little child having a tantrum and not satisfied with anything. And the more you give into, that child, the more they're just becoming a very spoiled brat, I think.
Of course, that's all that it is.
That's all it is. I think that's like the easiest reference there, and how we can connect that. There's just a very spoiled bratty child. And the whole thing with the Women's Month, ABL, I had heard this, I believe I saw it today. It was one of those like reels. It's by Candace Owens, and she made a good point in regards to all this. So for the Women's Month, they did not select, the Hershey Company did not select an actual biological woman to represent that she addition for the Women's Month. So they chose a biological man. So now this is where I'm trying to understand this, where the left is going with this rhetoric and this narrative. Are they trying to kind of hint that they're trying to make men do like a more like a dominance in everything? So I mean, obviously men do better in sports because physically, I mean, you all have it like that, and we have to give it to you. In the workforce, it's the same thing. ABL, you guys have that physical drive, that more logic side of you guys, where in the work field, you guys are more productive. And now let's put this with what the left's doing, is that the left is trying to now put men to now be better and show the prime example of what being a woman is.
Yeah,
you get where I'm going?
Yeah, I do get where you're going for sure.
So it's kind of like, like, what is the left up to? Are we trying to make men great again or something? I don't know. That does not even go that what is it, that phrase with that? But you're catching like my drift on that. Like it's very interesting how they're choosing a lot of these biological men to dominate in a lot of these areas of the women, but for what reason? I mean, yes, we have to learn how to separate biological men from biological women, but at the end of the day, are they really trying to now signal to us women that men can be better as being a woman? Oh, no. That, and then the whole Tennessee police department scandal. So at first I wasn't really paying attention to it. I just really honestly thought it's like, it's whatever. You get me? Like, it's just obviously individuals being very irresponsible in the workplace. And, that's like that good old saying goes, do not mix business with pleasure, right? When you go to work, it's showtime and you're there just for business reasons. And of course, when you're outside of, your hours, you do whatever you please, right? That's your own leisure time. And it strikes me as odd, ABL, how this woman wants to sit there and say she was being like bullied into the situation, like peer pressured into the situation. And let me tell you something. As an adult, I find that very hard for you to be peer pressured. It's starting to remind me of this whole Me Too movement, when this whole, who was it, the Weinstein individual, right? When he would invite all these girls at these, crazy late, morning hours to come over, and it wasn't even at a proper like environment to go over scripts and things of this nature. It was at a hotel, and these women had the choice when they walked into the hotel room and they saw what was happening to walk away, but no, they chose to stay there. Why? Because they wanted a role. I don't know what her motives were, but you know what, ABL, at that age, you cannot sit here and we will not buy that. Oh, I was pre-pressured. You obviously, you did what you did. You made that decision. Obviously, there was some type of pleasure out of that decision. But it is very, it's petty now that she's coming out and, with this whole lawsuit and whatnot. And I'll give a little personal story here. Okay. So, I was in a similar situation with a very years ago employer. One of the managers went ahead, put his hands on my shoulders and kind of started massaging it. And obviously, me, I was like, this is not right. This is the workplace. I don't like you like that. I was in a relationship at that time. So, what was my first thing to do was obviously reach out to HR, right? HR didn't do anything. Obviously, I had to get a lawyer involved. I had to sue the company. But you get where I'm going. That if you really know it's wrong and you're not comfortable with that, and that's not the way you're going to, flow, like, you're going to do something different than what this individual did. But for her to be out there and now saying, trying to paint this narrative, it's petty. But I think what she's doing, ABL, is maybe she's trying to save somewhat of her reputation, not only the reputation with her self-image, but with her job. And then, now with her husband, because poor her husband, like, that's an embarrassment, ABL. That's an embarrassment.
Big embarrassment, because that's one thing that's like the most important part of this, is that she was married the entire time and is still married right now. So I mean, we're gonna leave that part out. That's very important to understand.
Right. And it's like, where are your vows? I mean, her in her place as a woman and as a wife, like, where are your vows? And then I know you had made that comment where there's some states where, you know, if you're found like cheating or something like that, that there's some type of like I guess like you can sue for that. I think we should do that across the board in the whole US. You know, if a spouse wants to go out there and you know, cause these kind of, you know, issues in the marriage, especially, that you want to go out there and cheat, well, we should be able to sue for, you know, what is it, emotional damages, and I don't know what else. I think it's time for all that, because this is sad, ABL. I know the prime reason why the divorce rate is so high is for financial reasons, and the women are at a higher rate to initiate a divorce. But I mean, behind that, there's also the cheating scandals. So we really need to just, it gotta stop. This is just petty, you know. But this is the kind of situations where you gotta pray for individuals, and we'll see how it goes, right? We'll see what's the next story on this one. But I don't think it's gonna get far, do you, in the court system?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see how the whole thing goes. I mean, you know, it's going to be interesting to say the least.
I know. Alrighty, ABL. Well, it was a very nice conversation, an awesome live, and I want to wish you a wonderful night. God bless you till Wednesday, and God bless the whole chat. And the little Patriots want to say good night.
Good night, y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, ABL. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out to her. As always, let's go to 248. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Gabe from Detroit.
All righty. What's happening?
Not much. First time caller, but appreciate the show. And I just had a comment about that. I think the same issue with that woman and the 4 cops.
You said one. You said where now?
The police officer, the woman police officer, and then the 4 men police officers.
Yes.
So this is a perfect example why probably a woman shouldn't be in that workforce. It's not that I don't think that women are capable. They're probably capable. Amongst the physical standards, they won't meet the same physical standards as the man. That's why they have to drop it. I personally don't really care if they're you know, a police officer or not, but I don't think they're doing themselves a service by hiring a female officer at that point. And this is just an example of that. I'm not against women working. They should work, they should provide. But this is a prime example of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it just creates a lot of problems. And it's so many things that people just, it's a lot of things you have to work through in that environment.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And especially they're getting it like a big, a lot of publicity now, and it's not good publicity for police officers, especially these auditors. Now, there's some validity to them, I would agree, but for the most part, they're you got to look at it this way: if they're trying to take down the police force, so who's really funding that, right? Like, if you're just an activist, you know, you're just that one guy, but all these channels pop up, and it's like they're being funded by somehow or another. You know, and it's it doesn't look good anytime that a police officer is fired. But, you know, I understand when they're, you know, excessive force, things like that. But go back 20 years, you know, like this was never a thing. You know, excessive force was excessive force. That's how you got the job done. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's not what but that was part of the, you know, the deal. There was also like amongst them, they knew like, hey, I'll put my badge down and we can go, you know, fist to cuffs. And then they did that. And then whoever, you know, pretty much went to jail. But it was different. It was, I would say, a man's world in that sense. And then once you have female officers involved in that, they can't compute what that is, you know. Kind of like a football game. You just leave it all on the field. Whatever happened on the field happened on the field, and you kind of forget about it. You're still buddies with the guy, even though he's on the opposing team. You appreciate the sportsmanship, and it just kind of stays on the field. That doesn't compute well with, I guess, the female side.
Yeah, nah, it doesn't really. It's totally different. And that's going to be a problem when they're trying to work in the same place, when there's two different dynamics going on. You try to meet in the middle, and in that meeting in the middle, it's a bunch of things that don't really mesh together, and that's when problems happen.
Yeah. Yep. And you have to sacrifice something to meet in that middle. So both sides do have to sacrifice. Even the woman will have to sacrifice something, and even the man will have to sacrifice something. And it's not very, in a marriage that works, right? Because you're both working for a common goal. But in a police environment, that doesn't really work, because you have a standard of a quote unquote, hey, we're after these people, these drug dealers or these bad guys. They don't go by the same rules. They don't care what you are. They're going to go for the least perceived threat, and most of the time it's going to be that woman that they perceive as the least perceived threat. And now you're having to defend your partner, instead of them providing, ammo to the fight, so to speak.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I digress, but I appreciate your show, and let you get on to the next caller. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. That was a very good call. Very, very good. 773, your line was speaker 2.
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. How you doing?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
It's good. By the way, I don't have a mustache. I was reading chat. So Easy loses that bet. So whoever bet with Easy, he owes you money. ABL, I first wanted to mention the thing about the technology to repossess a car. Here's the thing. Most people don't get their car repossessed. And I understand that, you kind of understand that, well, you need to pay your bills, otherwise your car is going to be repossessed. But what about the other 90% of us about our invasion of privacy? That's the real question. Because they always give you a logical reason to go with that technology. They'll show, like OnStar, they'll show somebody gets into an accident and somebody from OnStar comes on, are you all right? We're calling an ambulance. They're going to shut off your car if it's stolen or whatever and be able to track it. Well, we have technology to do those things. But what's scary is your invasion of privacy. The other 90% that don't get their car repossessed, that pay off their car, the other 90% that aren't criminals and all that. So I'm a little worried about Big Brother and the invasion of our privacy because, your car has microphones in it now, so you can have hands-free talking. It stores your information from your phone in the car and everything else. So I think we need to be careful of that going forward. But my main point that I wanted to make was this thing about Kevin O'Leary, that's the guy from Shark Tank, and AOC, talking about how, America is becoming, at least the left, they're not business friendly. And if they're not business friendly, we're not going to do business in your city or your state. And maybe we're going to go overseas to do our business. And there goes jobs and manufacturing and everything else goes overseas. Here's the thing. I believe AOC and the other left, they want to be the champion of the underdog, but to them, the underdog is people that live off the government. Their main source of income is from the government. They want everyone on government programs. And, that just doesn't make sense. About 30 years ago, if not more, I worked with a guy that was from Russia, an intelligent guy, and he was explaining to me, because remember, that's 30 years ago, and then put another 30 years on that, because the guy wasn't 5 years old. He was an adult, so he remembers Russia when, you got a voucher for butter and bread and everything else. And what he said was that the real Russia in those days was the black market. And really what the black market is capitalism, the selling of goods and services. So communism and socialism does not work. It doesn't work, and the natural thing is capitalism. One person having something of value, needs something else of value that they don't have, and they trade with you. Kind of like the barter system, only we do that with money. You know, the barter system takes place of money because I don't need the milk right now. I need it next week, or I need my house painted and you need your car fixed or whatever. So he was explaining how the black market capitalism took over Russia. That was the real Russia. And so I just hate that the children are driving the bus. They don't get it, ABL. They want to have everybody under the government's, control, and that's how we make our money, is under the government. Well, here's the thing, and I've seen this as a policeman for many years. Once you give up and you decide, I'm not going to work. Why should I work for a living and make an extra $10,000 a year when the government can take care of me and I can just sit home, watch TV, chill, enjoy my life, and that's it. I don't have to go to work and go on the grind. Well, once you make that decision to do that, and generations of people have made that decision in big cities, once you do that, you are now imprisoned. You are enslaved. You enslaved yourself because you can never better yourself. If you do, the government's going to cut off your income. They're going to cut off your money. So it doesn't make sense for you to do better. And on the same hand, if the government taxes you for working, for being a guy that has let's say a small corporation, a small manufacturing company in a city, and you employ 350 people, if they tax you so heavily, well, then the incentive is not to get any bigger, not to get any greater. So this is the problem. It's a complete discord of ideas. And there's no convincing people like AOC or anybody else of anything different. So that's my 2 cents, ABL. Always great to participate in the show. I'll talk to you later, and hello to everybody in chat. Talk to them later, too. All right, bye.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Great call. Very, very good call. Button that up pretty nicely. But yeah, that's really how it is. That is how it is, especially about, Russia. The real Russia was that black market. They try to do certain things from the government point of view, from the government's perspective. And at a certain point, the people will say, okay, now we're going to do things this way. We're going to do things this way. This is the way it's going to work. And we're going to go forward in that direction. 415, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is your girl from the Bay Area. I wanted to know, have you seen that video of, it's called Kaba Baba Rave, and it's like a drag show for the babies?
I saw that. I was like, what in the world is this? Now, for those who have not seen it, it was a man dancing around half naked from what I was able to see. And there were a ton of children. I'm talking about infants, basically, like toddlers, babies. Was that kind of what was going on?
Yes. And that was crazy to me. It was like BDSM with the ropes and hanging from the ceiling. And this girl that I follow, her name is Natalie Denise. She did a whole video on how it came out of the UK, and these were tiny infants, and these Kaba Baba people, they do these shows, and it was, they go all around and they do tons of shows, and they deleted everything from their social media. And to me, it's just it's a really scary time because of the influence that they're trying to have on our children. And for me, when I was growing up in the Bay Area, I had an experience where I was like 15 and I had an internship at an organization. And for me, that's when my indoctrination started. And part of my internship was to go around to all of these organizations and to hear about training And so I would go to an organization made for young women of color, and they did, all the women came out and talked about how they had babies really young and the struggle and just like all the stuff that they had been put through. And then I went to like a queer organization, and they talked about like how youth were kicked out of their homes because they were gay and the struggles that they went through. And so it was part of the process to put the kids through all of these trainings to get an understanding of like this other side of the world, or just this other experience. And at the time I was like totally into it. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like people should be talking about this stuff. But now that I'm older, I realize like this is indoctrination at its best. Like you're starting them young, and you put it into the kids' minds like, because you're a person of color, you're going to struggle, like you're going to have a difficult life, and you got to work 10 times harder. And part of me now still sees like some of that is true, but I'm at the point where I'm like, no, like this is just brainwashing. You can do whatever you want to do, right? But we were really ingrained into learning about systematic racism and all of this stuff. And I just kind of wanted to call and let your viewers know, like, this, people don't just turn crazy, like all these people with different color hair and stuff. They don't just turn crazy. They just, were fed this stuff from really young ages. And now seeing how young they're going and like exposing the kids to all of this other, even like way beyond what I went through, it's, like, I don't know what's going to happen to the future generations.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, really. It really is.
Yeah, and yeah, I just wanted to call and give that kind of update and just let you know that your smile is contagious. Sorry, that was my daughter. And we enjoy listening to you, ABL, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
Shout out to the youngest in the background. All right, let's go. All right, Matt, what's happening?
Anthony, how you doing, man?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Man, I wanted to give you a theory that I had about this list of all these like Hollywood people that are allegedly have been going to Epstein's Island.
Yeah.
If you look at the timetables that they've all allegedly gone there, it was like right after Trump had kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, and I've been somehow imagining that basically what he did is like, fine, you kicked me out of your club, I'm gonna go down and start my own, and basically that's what he did at that island of his. And when Jim Carrey and all these people, I guess even what's his face from that night show, Jimmy Kimmel has been there, and I think they just got TDS from Trump. And that's basically the seminal, no pun intended there, but that's basically where all the Trump hate started, is in these pools with underage girls all around. It was where TDS originated at.
Wow. I mean, that's a crazy way to see it, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Man, what do you want to know about real estate? Because Nashville's cratering. That's where you're at, right? That's your city?
I'm in Chattanooga, so that's probably about 2 hours away from me.
Yeah, I'm up in Seattle, and it's a brutal market out here for someone who would be a first-time buyer. But I would say, quite honestly, I would sell your property and at the top of the market, and then on the 1031 exchange, you have 1 year, and basically I predict a 40% drop in places like Seattle in real estate. I'm saying nominal prices. I think the Federal Reserve is going to keep pushing interest rates until maybe about April, and that would put mortgages up somewhere around 11%.
Oh my God! So yeah. Okay, now if I was to sell, then what would I do for a place to live? Would I just rent?
Rent, yeah. And you've got 1 year before you have to pay capital gains tax, and I think real estate is going to crash so much that you're going to be at the top. It's at such a level that capital gains tax will be worth it.
Right.
So right now, what's going to end up happening, I mean, we're talking about, I mean, you can work from anywhere, but basically what's going to end up happening is people are going to have to move to where the jobs are. And having a house is basically, is going to become a boat anchor. So there's that aspect. And then on top of that, interest rates are not going to stay high. They're going to come crashing back down because a lot of people don't realize this. Primarily, the Federal Reserve, and I'm not talking Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or anything like that. I'm saying on their balance sheet, they own about 28% of all residential real estate right now, outright. The Federal Reserve does. So they've papered over that. They're going to sell that balance sheet off in order to convince foreign countries to buy our bonds or they're going to trade them for bonds. Coastal cities, you don't have this problem though either, but basically coastal cities have a situation where, like here in Seattle, about 1 in every $5 is Chinese.
Mm.
And Vancouver, it's about 1 in every 3. And the Chinese are experiencing